and seriously injured another.
The incident happened early this morning when the young woman was carrying out routine work, treating the animals with insect repellent. One of the rhinos charged at her, injuring her so badly that she died on the spot. Another zookeeper was also attacked by the rhino and was seriously injured. He's been taken to hospital. The director of Salzburg Zoo, Sabine Grebner, said the dead zookeeper was very experienced and had always been very cautious. She said it was unclear why the rhino had reacted in this way, as the animals were used to being handled and brushed.
The BBC's Bethany Bell. Thousands of Israeli academics, artists urging President Biden to shun Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu during his scheduled visit to the U.S. next week. Townhall.com. One Air Force official says the military may reconsider its contracts with private firms after Elon Musk denied Ukraine access to satellite information.
A new biography from Elon Musk reveals that Ukraine's leaders asked him last year for Starlink satellite support to allow them to attack Russian naval vessels in Crimea. Musk said he refused. He was afraid that could trigger a retaliatory nuclear attack from Russia. Now, the top civilian leader of the Air Force, Frank Kendall, says the military may need to be more explicit in future defense contracts. He says if the Pentagon's going to rely on commercial systems for operational use, they need assurances those systems will be available. Jackie Quinn, Washington.
A verdict in Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton's impeachment trial could come as early as this week. Testimony to resume today. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. A different kind of Tuesday. It's colder. We had rain, and there's like talk of rain all day today and like the rest of the week. It's currently in the 60s. Nice. Enjoy it. Kind of different. But yeah, we got more moisture coming, and all's good. Unless you're fantasy football guys that happen to have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. Yeah, I didn't watch the game, but I know a certain someone was very happy because I got a text. Actually, my wife told me first. She was like, "Oh, guess what? Aaron Rodgers got hurt." And then I was like, "Lovely." Oh yeah, like the first 4 plays of the game, he gets hurt. I'm like, "Yeah, there's my fantasy season done already."
The first play of the game.
I think it was the 4th play.
It was the first.
Was it?
It was the first play of the game. His ankle went out, and there's rumors that he might have pooed his pants.
Really? Well, I heard it's an Achilles, so it might be.
Is it an Achilles?
That's what someone was saying. They think it's an Achilles.
And I know he was your starting quarterback. I'm sorry. So there goes your perfect saison. But oh my gosh, how apropos. It's just being a Packers fan.
Yeah.
That felt, when I read that last night, I just felt so vindicated. Should have hung out, man.
Well,
and the memes that were going. I mean, I know it's probably too soon, but somebody posted a meme that said, "This is the worst thing that's happened in New York involving a jet ever."
On 9/11.
On 9/11, no less.
Wow.
I haven't even. My buddy Ronnie is a Jets fan. I haven't even gotten a chance to go over and congratulate him on the acquisition.
Feeling well this morning.
Wow. That's just. I mean, I'm sorry to any Jets fans out there. I'm sorry to that Jet fan out there.
Well, based off your laugh starting the show, I don't think you're that sorry.
That was so good.
But guess we're gonna rest my fantasy football hopes on the backs of Derek Carr now, because he's my backup. At least I have another backup that's a starting quarterback that might be good this year. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
could happen.
0-1 from season here, as I was really needing Aaron to get like 20, 30 points for me, and I would have won it. But
do you remember? Was the movie The Replacements?
Oh yes, I love that movie.
Is it The Replace?
You talking about the one?
The parody.
Well, there's several. You talking about The Replacements?
The one with Dave Koechner as the coach.
Oh yeah, that's The Replacement.
Is that The Replacement?
See, I thought you were thinking of the one with Keanu Reeves.
No, that's. I could be wrong, but there's a character in the movie. His name is Asil Tari.
Yeah.
And the coach the whole time calls him ACL tear.
Yeah, I remember.
And it's just the first time he goes to get on the field, everything happens to him. He gets marched over by the marching band.
I remember, yes.
A bus runs him over.
Very much out of Naked Gun.
Yeah, the comebacks. That's what it was. The comebacks.
The Replacements was the one with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Which I love, too, because it was DC. Gene Hackman was the coach. Mm-hmm. And, it was, I hear tell, very, very loosely based off the Redskins from back in the day. Oh. Because if you look in the 80s on the strike years, there was a couple of them. Guess who won the Super Bowl those years?
Could it be Washington?
That would be correct.
It would be correct.
Say what you want about Joe Gibbs, but that man could coach. And strike years, his teams were prepared and won Super Bowls both times.
I didn't even watch the game. I didn't
watch the game either.
It trickled into me as
I watched the Cowboys game Sunday night, so we watched the Big Brother that we missed Sunday night last night, and then I don't have Fox right now because of
contract disputes.
Yes, contract dispute. But they show The Masked Singer next day on Hulu.
Oh yeah,
and my wife and I wanted to see the Sunday night after the games. They did a Masked Singer show. And so we watched that.
Do you think that when Kim Jong was sitting in like anatomy class getting his medical doctorate, that he ever thought that he would just be like hanging out on stage in front of like dudes in foam rubbers singing, like belting out classics? Like, do you ever think that crossed his mind? I mean, I'm sure he was a class clown in medical school.
Yeah.
But that man is a cardiologist.
Yes.
And it cracks me up that he's now like the face of game show primetime television.
He's made 100 times more acting like an idiot than he does serving mankind as a doctor.
It is, however, real funny when he every now and again, like he'll be on a set and somebody will have like an issue, and then he puts his doctor hat on and he all of a sudden can like perform like complex medical procedures. Like I think he did like a tracheotomy on somebody who was like had a choking issue or something. Something happened where he like put his stethoscope on and became a doctor for a minute.
Although I'm not going to lie, it cheapens his doctorhood when I see him doing commercials for like dry eye meds and stuff. It's like, I mean, I get like sports people are doing commercials for Powerade, but it just seems a little cheesy when the doctor is
I always love that. I'm wearing a white lab coat, so you can trust my opinion.
That's right.
What?
I always want to meet the fifth dentist.
Right?
4 to 5.
Why are you so objectionable?
Yeah, who's the one dentist that keeps rejecting the fluoride or whatever it is? But yeah, I always see
it's just on his wall. It's like, Dr. Keith, I'm the holdout.
The This toothpaste.
DDS.
This toothpaste sucks. I like baking soda.
Oh, I was just doing a story about the top Googled pumpkin spice products in every state. Mm-hmm. New Mexico, by the way, the pumpkin spice donut, for those who are curious.
With green chili?
But of all the things that you would want pumpkin spice flavored, scented, there were so many of these products that you are putting waste into and onto. It makes no sense to me. Why would you want pumpkin spice scented trash bags, kitty litter, toilet paper, or dog poo disposal bags? None of those made any sense to me.
Well,
because it's just going to smell like pumpkin spice and then dinner from a week ago.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's why would you do that? Now, during the pandemic, during the whole toilet paper shortage, the one thing that was on the shelves was the scented toilet, was scented Angel Soft.
Now, I will agree with you for 99% of this.
Okay.
However, through personal experience, my wife, one time, we purchased trash bags.
Okay.
And they were our normal style with the little drawstring and all that. Mm-hmm. But these were scented in Febreze instead of just trash bags.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie. It was pleasant opening my trash can every time
it's pleasant.
to have a Febreze one. So I understand the concept.
For the first time, until you throw out like dinner and stuff, until the trash can starts getting full, and then it starts smelling like Febreze and Stroganoff.
That Febreze was strong enough that it didn't.
Strong enough.
Like I opened it, I'm like, all right, this is kind of sickening Febreze smell. It was almost too much Febreze. I did not smell trash. So I get the concept in that one, but I don't want to smell pumpkin spice all month.
Yeah.
Or the entire package of, like, I don't want 100 count
exactly. That's the
trash bags that all smell like pumpkin spice.
You're going with the theme for the season. Commit to pumpkin spice trash bags.
It's July 4th. Why is it still like pumpkin spice in it? Because I
shop at Sam's Club.
Trash bags at Sam's Club. But I will say, I can't speak for the others, but my wife did purchase those Febreze ones, and we had them. And
I've had scented trash bags before, but that's the problem is they eventually just smell like kind of like the thing, and then whatever trash you throw. Now, granted, I had an infant at the time, so I was throwing away a lot of diapers,
you had
things of that nature.
You were putting some hazardous waste in that bad boy. Yeah.
So from that side of things, it's not a fun combination.
Well, for garden variety kitchen trash and just leftovers and whatever, it did not. And granted, maybe a few cat puke cleanups in there too. So, but they don't stink like kids' diapers, nothing like that. So, is our guest here?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I was like, I think our guest is here. It's so quiet. So I'm just talking, and then your guest is here. Yeah.
Well, our new video producer, Jocelyn, which, by the way, I think today is her first day flying solo, so good on you. But she's a very quiet person. She sneaks around, and she snuck out and snuck our guest in. So.
It's kind of like...
She's great if you need to get something across a border. I assume. I'm not speaking from experience.
Oh, man. Well, let me give you the rundown.
Yes.
Our guest is here, stealthily. We're going to talk to the folks from the Roswell Homeless Coalition this hour, get an update from them, and talk about how you can help. I think based on the news and the world and everything is going on, they've been busy lately, the Homeless Coalition. So we'll get an update from them. In the 8 o'clock hour, around 8:15 or so, we'll have the folks from the Chavez County Health Council join us, give us an update there. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, John LeMay with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico going to join us, talking about the Books and Blooms event coming up here next month, and then give an update on his books and things like that. So, and if I can, some way, somehow, if I can, if not, I'll try to crowbar it in tomorrow.
It's not necessarily timely. It's something you could play sometime this week.
Yeah, it's a little timely.
Well, it's 30 days.
Yes, yes. But Gene had interviewed Jim Townsend, who is the actual representative for the Artesia district, but is also the House Republican leader there. Yep. And so had a great conversation about, well, first off, he's not dead. Because there were some rumors went around that he was dead.
Yeah, I remember
that.
So
they'd address that at the beginning, and then they go into the governor's edict and all of
First question, I got to ask, it's just curiosity killing a cat. Are you dead?
That was the first question. He said no.
I feel like that's exactly where Gene would go with it.
He went with no. So, but yes. So we'll play that. We'll try to work it in. Not today. I'll get it in tomorrow here, but I definitely want to do that. All right. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a look at that weather. That sweet, sweet, oh, it's going to rain weather. Enjoy.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a stationary front overhead and low pressure bringing in some humid air, so showers and thunderstorms are a pretty good possibility today. Cool temperatures, too, will be in the low to mid 70s for the afternoon high. Pretty good chance of showers overnight and our low dropping into the low 60s, and then we get more wet weather on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms, skies will be cloudy, and our high right around 80. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76%. And winds currently out of the northeast at 8 miles per hour. The rain chances, it's big sentences for the weather this time. Usually it's like one line, hot, 60 or hot, 106, winds southeast. Now they get books here. So today we're looking at an 80% chance of rain pretty much all day. They like to word it up, though. So I'll read this one just to, someone got paid a lot of money to write all this. Showers and possibly a thunderstorm before 1 p.m., then scattered showers and thunderstorms between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m., then scattered showers after 4 p.m. I don't know if they're getting paid by the word or what, but rain chances all day. That's what that says. High of 70 today. 70, which means it may not get to 70. It says near 70. Winds out of the northeast, 5 to 10. They're saying expect between a tenth and a quarter inch of rain today, unless we get a few of those turned into thunderstorms. Then that amount will increase. Tonight, 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy with an overnight low of 61. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're saying less than a tenth of an inch of rain tonight expected. Wednesday, we are looking at a 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Once again, mostly cloudy, 83 for a high. Winds out of the south at around 10 miles per hour. Tenth to a quarter of an inch of rain expected tomorrow. Tomorrow night, 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, 63 for an overnight low. West winds 5 to 15. 20% chance of rain on Thursday. Mostly sunny and 90 for a high, so creeping back up, probably with some humidity there, so that's going to stink. 20% chance of rain Thursday night as well, overnight low of 62. Friday, 30% chance of rain with a high of 87 under sunny skies. Friday night, 40% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 62. And then for the weekend, 40% chance of showers for Saturday afternoon, otherwise partly cloudy and 81. 20% chance of rain Saturday night. Sunday, a 20% chance of showers, partly cloudy and 85. And a 20% chance Sunday night, partly cloudy, 62 for an overnight low. So I think we're going to get some rain this week. At least the chances are good. All right, it is 21 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then Geneva with the Roswell Homeless Coalition will join us on the other side. Do not go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
The need to grow past our basic capabilities and experience the impossible will forever keep aviation technology evolving. Within the Aviation Maintenance Technology program at ENMU Roswell, students thrive knowing that the faculty and community are supporting their success. ENMU Roswell is dedicated to empowering students through hands-on skills training in a nurturing environment. To learn more, contact us today.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell. When you try to help the homeless, direct donations, such as money or food, may provide immediate relief, but often don't address the root causes of homelessness, such as mental health issues, substance abuse, or lack of affordable housing. If you want to help the homeless, give to organizations in Roswell that support the homeless. These organizations are better equipped to help the homeless in our community. Visit roswell-nm.gov for more information on how you can help. The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,329 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to higher market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week, and buyers paying attention to unweaned calves. Stocker calves sold steady to $10 higher. Feeder cattle steady to 8 higher. Packer cows sold 5 to 8 higher. Packer bulls sold steady to 2 higher. 3 to 40 pound steers, $323, $340. 3 to 40 pound heifers, $265, $285. 4 to 500 pound steers, $275, $323. 4 to 500 pound heifers, $238, $265. 5 to 600 pound steers, $261, $275. 5 to 600 pound heifers, $221, $238. 6 700 pound steers, $253, $261. 6 700 pound heifers, $209, $221. 7 800 pound steers, $230, $253. 7 800 pound heifers, $190, $209. Packer cows, $105, $121. Canner and cutter cows, $85, $95. Packer bulls, $115, $135. Feeder bulls, $90, $95. Top half the cow calf pairs, $1,500 to $2,250 per pair. Top half the bred cows, $1,400 to $1,725 per head. Now remember, this is the top of the market, and prices range down from this according to quality, quantity, condition, and feel. We do appreciate the business. We'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:25, and I got it all wrong, so we're going to get it right now. Joining us in studio, Geneva Martinez. I got that part right.
Yes.
But she's now with I guess you could say a relatively new organization here called Helping Hands, which is a great program that I guess, like, if you've heard of Habitat for Humanity, it's something like that a little bit, right?
Yeah, kind of in between.
Yeah. It's kind of, I'm trying to give it something that people can wrap their head around, and I would give it something kind of, it's a chance for folks to get into affordable housing and stuff that they probably wouldn't able to do it on their own or through their own way. But not only that, you guys work with them. Like, the people invest back into there, so it's not like you're giving them a house. You're giving them the tools to be a homeowner, kind of thing. Is that kind of?
Well, kind of. Not a homeowner, but we're trying to create affordable housing.
Gotcha.
So let me start with how With Many Hands started. Nicole Scarpa stumbled across a Facebook post about With Many Hands and what they do, and so they are nationwide, and they reach out to communities that want to address things in their community.
Okay.
So I believe they started out with recycling first.
Okay. So it's a little more fluid than like a Habitat. It's kind of, yeah, we do that, but we also, it spreads out to other community needs too.
Right.
It's not just homes for people that need homes, kind of thing.
Right. So I know Alamogordo's doing like a community garden, working with Many Hands. And so it came down after several months of their leaders meeting, which are all community members from Roswell, that housing is something that they wanted to address.
I got you.
And as we know, our housing and our homeless population is our housing is less and our homeless population is increasing.
Yes.
So With Many Hands Roswell was developed, and they received a $40,000 grant. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's going to be money that is going to plant seeds and prove concept to our city leaders that programs like this will work.
Okay.
And our governor has signed in millions of dollars into home preservations and similar home loans as what we're trying to mimic.
Okay.
But we have to go out and get that money from our governor, right? So this is kind of a pilot project that we're showing our community and our leaders that let's go after that big pot of fund.
Okay.
And,
so like, I'm guessing you need things like grant writers, things like that, people that are experts there in knowing how to work those systems to be on the radar for those monies?
Yeah, and I mean, you can really just search it, like where's the money for housing in New Mexico, and lots of stuff comes up. I think it was $37 million that was allocated, but all that money is kind of divvied out to different,
everyone got their hand out.
They're the housing mortgage, and so the MFA, and HUD, and rapid rehousing. So certain nonprofits can apply for it. Government agencies can apply for it. So with this $40,000 grant, what we are looking for is probably 2 to 3 landlords, property owners that may have their house boarded up and they just need a little bit of work, or they need to get their house back on the market.
Some that are close to being affordable housing for people, but are missing some key ingredient to get that to get done.
Right. So we want to help property owners get their property back on the market to create affordable housing. So say they need a $10,000 loan for redoing a bathroom or some electrical work. This is a 0 interest rate loan. And we use the word loan because people can wrap their heads around it, but really it's going to be like a forgiveness loan or a grant. And so they contact us. We go look at the property. We take pictures. We meet as a group. We decide if this is going to be a good fit for our project. So with working with the property owner, then we look at who's going to make the changes. Is that a contractor? What kind of work needs to be done?
And then, in fact, is it going to be used for housing for people when it's done?
Right. So that's going to be part of the contract. That in lieu of paying us back that $10,000 monthly for 24 months, they're going to lower their rent under fair market value. And we will work with the people that are coming into the housing to see if they qualify for other services, including, rapid rehousing, HUD. And so the house has to be up to standard. And I know right now our community is facing a shortage of HUD homes. We don't have community developers coming in and making apartments anymore. I recently found out certain apartment complexes that we did have as Section 8 or HUD approved. Those apartments are contracted for 20 or 15 to 20 years. And then after that, they don't have to work with the state anymore. So now they can raise the rent or not choose to take any of those vouchers. So we have Clovis and Hobbs, Portales that are, maybe not Hobbs, that are working with community developers, getting those apartments in. And they're housing people 10 to 15 families a week. Where we're struggling to find anybody that would take a voucher. And part of that taking a voucher means that the house is up to standards. Something that you would want to live in, right? You want to make sure that everything works properly.
Absolutely. A safe home.
Yeah. I always wonder, when you go to the ER and they ask you that question, do you feel safe at home? And, when you don't have a lot of safety protocols. Maybe it's just not domestic violence, but it's also things that can make you sick in a home.
It's is your stove a death trap? Is the gas leaking and it might kill you? That's not safe.
Right. And so right now our fair market value for housing in Roswell is it's above. We're really if you look at Facebook and you go through, you'll see, a 1970s trailer going for $1,200 a month, that has 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. So a lot of these newer homes are way into $2,200, $2,400.
They're not affordable
They're not
affordable housing for a lot of people.
And we have to look at our community. We are rural disadvantaged, living below poverty line more than the majority. So we are now seeing an increase
there's real estate, but only if you can afford $2,000 a month. If you can only afford $600 a month, there's not a lot of options for you. That's kind of what you're saying, is we need more of those options that, that are for, really low or middle class families that they can get their roots established, basically.
Yeah, we also need to look at all these houses that are boarded up in some of these communities that the city has condemned or taken over. The city owns a lot of property, and more so than other communities in New Mexico. City of Roswell has, condemned, and I don't know what they're doing now, but I know previous administration, they would bulldoze, clear out the property, and then put a lien on it. So it's kind of like our community leaders need to look at what are these boarded houses doing? It's actually making a safety issue, right? So we now have people, when I worked with the Homeless Coalition, and, I've been doing this stuff for about 15 years, 20 years. And I used to know where all the homeless were. I used to be able to go take them a meal once a week and check on them. Because of certain city ordinances that were passed about erecting a structure or having a tent up has made that illegal in our city. So now they're breaking into these boarded up houses. They're starting fires. People have to stay warm. We've created this huge issue that now has become a crisis in our community. And so leading up to, how are we going to address this? I will be hosting a housing forum.
Okay.
Leading up to Leadership Roswell's big forum that they're
on the 28th, I believe.
They're on the 28th. Mine will be on the 26th.
Okay.
And it's only about housing and homelessness. And I've already reached out to all of the candidates that are running.
Okay.
It's going to be the 26th at 6 p.m. at Anderson, and it will be, the public is welcome.
The Anderson Museum?
Yes.
Yes, very good.
Yes, the
Not
contemporary
Anderson
art.
Bethany or
No. Yeah, I
home,
guess. Thank you.
Anderson Museum.
Yes, we had a private donor that stepped in and covered that cost for us.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was looking at a public building, but I would need a government agency to back me to try to get that. There's
a few more red tape and hoops to jump through.
Yeah, and with the date coming up so quickly, I wanted to make sure we had something secured.
Sure.
So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to the Anderson Museum,
it's a beautiful museum. Come early, spend an hour, walk around. There's so much to look at. And then, when everyone starts gathering and sit and get your spot, and then we'll start. And then you can hear what each of our candidates have to say about housing and homeless issues, which, again, if you're voting, which you should, I say this every time. I don't care who you vote for, but give me a reason why you're voting. Don't say they had cool signs. Don't say, well, they're my neighbor. I don't want to hear that. I want to know, I'm voting for this person because I like their policy on X, or I'm not voting for this person because I don't like their policy on this. That's what it's about. And that's, if you do that, then you're doing your job as a citizen. That's the way I see it. So come to events like this, hear what these candidates have to say, even if it's a personal thing. Hey, I'm trying to get more affordable housing. Great, come on out. But even if you're like, no, I'm good, I got a house, come listen to these candidates, hear what they have to say, because guess what? Their answers are going to impact your community.
Yes.
So listen and vote accordingly.
Yes, definitely get to know your candidate.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so important. So that'll be the 26th. You said 6 p.m.?
6 p.m.
At the Anderson Museum there. And come on out. Like I said, get there a little early and walk around, or stick around a little after, depending on how long it goes. We might not have as much time afterwards. So come early and check out the museum. And then I would imagine, too, if you want to get more involved with this organization. Yeah, I keep wanting to say helping hands, but many hands. But if you want to get involved with many hands, that's a great place to talk with Geneva or any other volunteers and say, yeah, or maybe you're like, hey, I'm good at writing grants and I'm good at, turning over rocks, finding money. Can I help? And they'll be like, come on down. So and here's the thing. You're right. We have a homeless crisis here. We have, you see what's going on. You hear the rumors about up north shipping more homeless down here because they can't handle them. So, it's I'm not in my backyard mentality, push them on to somebody else. And so we're here and we're dealing with a lot more homeless than we're even normally dealing with. And so, all ideas are on the table at this point, all the above, with the Homeless Coalition doing what they're doing, with what you guys are doing with Many Hands, that's just the tip of the iceberg. We need a lot more people involved in dealing with this issue. How do we solve it? Is it getting more houses? Is it, what? And I get it. Homeless is a thing. There's some people are homeless by choice, and they're not gonna, want to. And there's never anything you do about those folks because that's their choice. And this is America. You get to choose how you want to live, even if it is homeless.
Yeah.
And then there's others that just don't have the resources and want something better. And those are the folks you say, all right, well, let's see what we can do to help you get in touch with that. Maybe, and we all know these are folks that have been dealing with mental health, with, there's all kinds of things going on there. And so those needs have to be addressed first. And then once then you're like, okay, let's get you in a situation where you can take care of yourself in a home someday.
Right.
And so some of those folks need more stuff before they get to kind of home loan programs here, but we need to get them on the path to getting them to here. So, whether they start with a homeless coalition, just getting the basic needs of an address and benefits and a life, then they're like, okay, let's talk to the Many Hands folks and see if we can get them.
Yeah, integrating them back.
Integrating them back into these, in touch with one of these homeowners that are using the helping hands or Many Hands. I did it right there. Many Hands to improve their home to make more space available and stuff like that. That's what, and I'm thinking too, if you're a landowner, maybe you're one of these folks that did it investment, bought a bunch of properties, and you're like, oh dang, spread myself too thin, and here you are with a bunch of properties that aren't up to code and stuff yet. Yeah. Many Hands might be that organization that puts you over the top and says, you know what, that extra 10 grand or whatever it is to do these renovations are going to be the difference. Now I've got a set of apartments that's going to provide for, 6-7 families or something like that. So this is what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah. Homelessness is definitely a symptom deeper for the majority of people that are experiencing it. And that kind of takes me to another nonprofit that we're trying to get up and running called The Hive. And it would be a nonprofit that is a hub for wraparound services that different agencies can come to and work directly with a client. So say a client is in need of intensive outpatient services, behavioral health counseling, in a
kind of like
group.
A triage on what this person needs and what we need. Where do we need to send them next or get them in touch with?
Yeah, it's kind of like a case manager is the hub, but then all these agencies that are already doing what they're doing in the community, all being brought to the center Hive.
Makes sense.
It's all the working bees,
right?
To make people the best person they can be and be successful at trying to integrate back into workforce, housing.
Well, and this is the kind of stuff that's needed. Let's face it, not all of us are raised the same. Not all of us grew up in the same opportunities. We all didn't have the same starting point, and some people just growing up for whatever reason aren't exposed to or don't have certain skills. Maybe they just don't know things like how to balance a budget, or you know what I mean. It's just things that we just assume our parents taught us aren't always the case for everybody.
I still don't know how to balance my bank account.
But and so I think like the Hive and that's so when people are missing some of those ingredients in their, I feel like the Hive is that place to say, yeah, let me help you navigate through that. If that's the hurdle here, we can fix that. Let's get you educated. Let's get you. Maybe it's as simple as creating a budget for this person. If that's all there is, we can knock that out and put you on it, and you're going to be golden here in a year. Or maybe it's, something more. Maybe it's, I'm a veteran and I'm dealing with PTSD, or I'm dealing with other mental health services. Or maybe I'm a victim of abuse, and that comes with its own set of circumstances.
Or trafficked.
Yeah, or if you've been trapped, and that's the other thing too. You hear these stories of people that have been trafficked, and then they catch the people that trafficked them, and they're like, well, I don't know what to do with these poor victims. We can't send them back. So they literally turn them loose.
Or they take them, ICE ends up taking them. If they're from Mexico, they'll take them down to the border and try to integrate them. There's nonprofits that are at the border that are supposed to help them get back to their families.
Which are probably way overwhelmed already.
Well, and a lot of them aren't really nonprofits. They are also traffickers.
Oh, it's a front for more trafficking.
Right.
Okay.
So trafficking has been on my heart for a little while, and I had a dear friend, Kat, that kept talking to me about this amazing program called I Empathize, and they work with different sectors and communities. So they'll work with training on law enforcement, training for first responders, for hospitality, for truckers, for parents, for youth. So there's different, a training for hospitality is going to look way different than training for first responders.
I would imagine, yes.
Right.
One's like, "How is your toast tasty?" The other's trying.
Right. So after talking with her, she got me in contact with this company, and then I started doing my own research, and I found out that our state had received an F on their efforts for addressing human and sex trafficking.
Wow.
Then I did a little bit more research and found that our trafficking is, number one, is sex trafficking, and second is labor trafficking.
Really?
Yeah. And so I
figured drugs would be in there too, but I guess with all the human trafficking.
I mean, you can smuggle in drugs and sell it one time.
That's
when
true.
You're human trafficking, you can
more profitable, I guess.
Right, over and over
makes
on
sense.
one person. Even exploitation of pictures and stuff on.
I mean, I knew it was
online.
bad, but I didn't think it overtook drugs. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I am setting up a meeting with all of our stakeholders in different sectors in our community leaders, on the 22nd of September, so coming up very quickly, to discuss how we can bring training to our community, if that's going to look like a 2-day summit, a 1-day summit, continued training. I would want anybody and everybody that wants to know more about human trafficking and sex trafficking to be able to attend. So maybe looking at the Civic Center for a big training.
Sure.
So I will have the Attorney's General Office, who is really trying to spearhead a lot of these trainings involved, and also the Dream Center out of Albuquerque, which is like a safe haven shelter for those that are being trafficked. Just 3 or 4 weeks ago, there was in Albuquerque, they raided a cannabis farm.
Okay.
And there was 20 plus people from China that were flown in that was promised medical care. And then they were taken to this. It was on the news. It wasn't something I had to go look for.
It came up.
So it's just not.
So it's not even the border of Mexico that we're dealing with
right.
some of this. It's international.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I know ILEA works with all the different countries,
Sure.
and that's something that they're trying to address is how do countries work together to address, because it's not just a USA pandemic. I mean, this crisis is happening worldwide.
It's crazy. Well, this is the thing. We all got to do our part. And that's, you look at the big picture and you're like, well, shoot, what can I do about it? And it's like, well, it starts in your neighborhood. That's, I can respect and say what you're saying. This is an international thing, and I don't want to, it's like, I get it. What you can do in the meantime is start here.
Right.
Let's start it here. Let's do here. Let's fix, folks here and help people here and give them opportunities here. And then we'll tackle the national stuff. But let's get our backyard here first.
Right. I think people feel overwhelmed when they start thinking of the bigger picture.
So let's do what they say, how to eat an elephant one bite at a time. Well, let's take a bite and let's go ahead and do what we can control. And And to be honest, that's a life lesson. You can only control what you can control, so control it. Mm-hmm. And that's the best you can do. And what you can't control, address that in a different way, or don't, you know what I mean? It's just, that's how you deal with that mentally. If you feel overwhelmed, it's just that one. And I know it's easier said than done, but every time I felt overwhelmed, that's how I overcome it. I'm just like, all right, let's take a step back. Let's start chipping away. And then eventually you make a dent and you start feeling progress. And then you get the sense of accomplishment. It just takes a little longer. But
yeah,
I think homeless, because it feels like a insurmountable thing. It's like, well, shoot, I make one opportunity and 10 more problems pop up sometimes. And it's going to feel like that. And it probably will continue to feel that way, but we got to keep fighting. We got to keep doing stuff. We got to, there's so many, in homeless, like you said, there's so many different reasons. Some are victims. Some are literally trafficking victims that they just turned loose and we got no place for you to, and so now they're sitting in man camp somewhere or whatever.
Right.
And then you have, so it's not all just people that chose to be there or did something in their lives to put them in that situation. Sure, there's that, but even still, what do you want? If they want out of it, help them.
Yeah.
That's what humanity's for. Now if they're adamant and want to live there, then God bless them. Live your life, do what you want to do. It's America. But if they're looking for better options and they need help, it doesn't matter where they came from. But I'm just telling you, if y'all are wrapping it in your head like, they chose to be here, it's not my problem, that's a very narrow-minded way of thinking this.
Yeah.
Because it is so much more than that. There are so many people, through no fault of their own, are put in that situation, and all they're looking for is help. And unfortunately, they're just becoming more victims within that community because it's humanity's alpha dogs. It doesn't matter whether you're in a group of billionaires or a group of homeless people. The alpha dogs are gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just what happens. And so those people become even more victimized within the own culture just because they're not, they can't stand up for themselves.
Right.
And that's why.
Probably about, thinking like 7 or 8 years ago, I came in and talked with you about when we did the point in time survey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we get like a census of who's in our community that's experiencing homelessness. That survey hasn't been done in a few years, but we're going to be bringing that back in January, I believe is the next one. And we're going to need to work with all these agencies that are out in the community that service the homeless or see the homeless so we can get this better count. And I know there is concern that Albuquerque is sending down some of their homeless by busing them here. We're going to be doing the state point-in-time survey,
Mm-hmm.
but also adding other questions that is important to just our community.
Sure.
So we'll have the state numbers, and then we're going to add questions like, how long have you been in Chavez County? If you've been here less than a year, where did you come from? Would you like to go back?
Right.
What services do you need? Do you have food insecurities? So it's going to be a great snapshot for us to look at for grant writing purposes,
Mm-hmm.
but also who's in our community.
Sure.
And this is something that I was working with our Deputy Chief of Police, Alden. I always mess up his name. Great guy. So back when I was with the coalition, we were looking at making IDs for people that are coming out of the detention center that lost all of their documentation, people that are living on the streets that may not have birth certificates or social security cards.
Some way of identifying.
Right.
Yeah.
And those IDs would have identifiers that are for people that work with the homeless and also for the police. So say they have a mental health diagnosis or they were a violent.
People are supposed to be there and people that aren't supposed to be,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And that kind of helps separate that.
Right. And how to approach somebody, if they show you the ID and
that's something, and I know the city's got some things out now. And yes, when you see people homeless and you do have to be careful. And I get it. People have hearts and want to help, but you want to help, get involved with organizations like this. This is with, whether it's the Homeless Coalition or Many Hands, that's how you get involved because you can make much bigger impact. and at the same time protect your own safety too, and not getting involved in things that maybe you had nothing but good intentions, but ended up turning into a bad scenario for you. So
I know Mike Harrington has been very vocal about if you really want to help, maybe not buy that Coke for them, maybe just donate to.
Don't be an enabler. Let's help.
Yeah, let's give that funding to organizations that can work directly with these individuals. So
I've always been a big proponent. If you're not an expert in it, give the resources to the experts and let the experts do that. And I think with our homeless, that's probably the best way we can help. I get it. We all want to have hearts and help people, and you see something, I get it. That's humanity. That's a good thing. Don't ever lose that.
And there's another organization that just came up, Home. I think it's Homeless Outreach Mobile. I don't know what the E stands for, but Enrique is received some grant money for that, along with Alianza, and they're doing mobile outreach at different centers around Roswell. I think it's on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday, or I'll try to get some more information and post on my Facebook page. But he's doing the food insecurity, and other agencies are joining him to maybe get testing done or rapid rehousing for those in the community that need it. So
I love
a lot of good work.
And obviously Enrique, what he's been doing for years now for our community and stuff, I love that people that have been doing it for a long time that know the ins and outs. I love that people recognize that and say, let's just support what they're doing because they're making headway already. No point reinventing the wheel here. We have an in. Let's use that as our conduit and strengthen it. And that's what it feels like I'm seeing with some of these things, and that's a good thing. So.
Yeah, and also just educating yourself, making these phone calls to these different organizations. If you want to get involved, if you feel so overwhelmed by what we're seeing in our community and don't know where to start with calling the Roswell Homeless Coalition. Start with calling Enrique. Start with calling me. I love talking to people that are passionate about these type of issues and don't know how to get involved, but want to be involved.
Got the energy, but don't know how to channel it.
I can find you that spot.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely want to come out here on September 26th, 6 p.m. at the Anderson Museum. Come out for I guess you could say, homeless / housing public forum for our local candidates here for the upcoming municipal election here. We're inviting all of our city councilors and folks to come out, the candidates to come and hear their thoughts on these particular issues. I mean, sure, if you want to talk to them one-on-one about other issues, but the event will focus primarily on housing, homeless, those kinds of issues, things like that.
And then the big forum with the Leadership Roswell is the 28th.
That's the 28th, and that's going to be at the Convention and Civic Center. And we're still working out all the pertinent details, but that will be city council and school board candidates, if I remember correctly.
No, I love it.
Yeah, so we'll have, I believe there's 3 seats that are contested for school board off the top of my head. I could be slightly off on that, but I think that's what it is.
3 seats?
Yeah, contested seats.
Do you know how many are running?
I think there's 2 candidates each, so 6 candidates total, maybe.
Okay.
I think it's 2 for the contested. There may be a couple individual uncontested ones, but as far as the ones that you have a choice on,
and then council is 11, I believe, right?
Yeah. Because at any given time it's half the city council, so it's like 5 seats usually. It's like 10 total.
Yeah.
So I think 5 up at any given time.
I think 3 are running for the seat open in 4.
Yeah.
And there's 2 running for seat 5.
Every race is contested. So if you live in one of the 5 districts, you have a contested race.
Yes.
Which we have 10. Each district has 2 representatives in the district. So you have a candidate you're going to be having a choice to vote for. So do your homework. Come on out the 26th. Come out the 28th. We'll get those candidates opportunities here on the radio throughout the course of between now and the election here. So get involved.
Very exciting.
Good deal.
Do we got time to chat about the skate park?
Ooh, we can do, I got like 2 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. So if anybody's been following this city council meetings, there is a very passionate young lady, Tori Hornick, that is trying to get us all together to discuss building and adding on to our skate park. I joined the Parks and Rec Commissioner Board to try to get better trails and to try to get an outdoor hockey / derby / disco,
roller rink.
Yeah. Our rink is closed here, so that kind of knocks out roller derby.
Yeah.
So with Tori being so passionate about the skate park, me being passionate about roller derby, we came together with some of our city leaders, Christina Arnold, Jim Burris, the Mr. Nahar with engineering, and we want to bring a UFO skate complex to our community.
Cool.
That would include a bigger park, a regional park, with a roller derby, a hockey rink, and maybe a pump track or snake run for BMXers.
Nice.
So
really some of the wheeled sports here and activities. Cool.
And Tori does have a petition if anybody wants to sign that. It actually, I always thought petitions were more demanding. But really, I saw our city council want to see that list because they know that's potential votes.
Absolutely.
So if this is something that you want to support, please go to
I like it
to the Facebook page.
This all is in this. We're running out of time, so really. But when we talk about bringing more professionals to our community, these are the kind of things that lure them here.
Yes.
Opportunity. What is there to do when they're not at work? Oh, let's go check out the skate park. Let's go see all the recreational. Making when we have Cielo Grande and that complex. Making that the biggest, coolest thing possible is nothing but good stuff for this community. So
yes,
please ask questions on the 26th about it. To help. So as always, thank you, Geneva. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Okay?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, it is 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Iran could be in line for a $6 billion windfall thanks to the Biden administration. Reports that a prisoner swap has been arranged that would include the release of the billions in frozen Iranian assets. North Korea's dictator Kim Jong-un has arrived in Russia, where he's meeting with President Vladimir Putin.
The United States believes that Mr. Kim is meeting Mr. Putin to finalize an arms deal, that North Korea has agreed to provide Russia with the ammunition and the artillery that it needs to fight its war in Ukraine. North Korea has been one of the very few supporters of Vladimir Putin's war from the beginning.
The BBC's Jean McKenzie in Seoul says Kim is expected to seek military technology as well as economic aid from Russia. Libya's eastern city of Derna has buried 700 people killed in devastating flooding, 10,000 reported missing. Pennsylvania police warn an escaped killer is armed and dangerous as the search for him goes on following his August 31st prison break.
Police were searching for Danilo Cavalcante overnight in the Chester County area where alerts went out. They posted on social media he's armed and residents should lock their doors and not approach him. The 34-year-old who was serving life for killing his ex-girlfriend escaped Chester County prison by crab walking between walls to the roof. Cavalcante has been seen on surveillance video in various places. Authorities set up dragnets. So far he's evaded capture, forcing police to defend their strategy. I'm Julie Walker.
Leominster, Massachusetts, about 40 miles northwest of Boston, reeling in the midst of serious flooding. A state of emergency declared. Homes have been cut off by the floodwaters, sinkholes opening up in the streets, and drivers find themselves stranded. On Wall Street, the Dow down 59 points. NASDAQ is off 21. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Donald Trump's indictment. Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Taiwan says it spotted 22 Chinese military aircraft and 20 warships near the island today. Over the weekend, the U.S. and Canada sailed warships through the Taiwan Strait in a challenge to China's sweeping territorial claims. And then China sailed a naval formation led by an aircraft carrier about 70 miles to Taiwan's southeast. Chinese state media said the vessel was expected to conduct drills simulating aircraft, submarine, warship, and land attacks. Israel's Supreme Court hearing the first challenge to Prime Minister Netanyahu's judicial overhaul. The plan has deepened a showdown with the government that has bitterly divided the nation, putting the country on the brink of a constitutional crisis. Netanyahu's coalition unveiled the overhaul plan earlier this year, arguing it was necessary to rein in an unelected judiciary that had amassed too much power over the years. News and analysis, townhall.com. A dramatic rescue of an American in Turkey.
Rescuers have pulled an American researcher out of a Turkish cave more than a week after he became seriously ill more than 3,000 feet below the entrance. Teams from across Europe have rushed to one of the deepest caves in the world in southern Turkey to aid Mark Dickey. The 40-year-old experienced caver became seriously ill with stomach bleeding while on an expedition to map the cave. The rescue began on Saturday after doctors who administered IV fluids and blood determined that Dickey could make the arduous ascent. Rescuers first had to widen some of the cave's narrow passages, install ropes to pull him up vertical shafts on a stretcher, and set up temporary camps along the way. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Automaker Stellantis reporting progress in talks with the United Auto Workers Union. Just 3 days left before contracts expire with Detroit's big three automakers. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The abolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters. Right here. 106.5. You gotta go to the bathroom or something? Oh, he had the look of like he was doing his thing. And then he gave me the look of like, uh-oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And he said, I'll be right back. But apparently that was not the case.
No, it was I had to make sure I exported my hour, that's all.
Well, I thought you did export it right here.
After I say it, I understand the connotation of the, yeah.
It was one of those. It's the only time I ever see
Excuse me, I had to haul ass and export my hour.
The only time I ever see that face is usually for that reason. That's why.
And it's funny I say this because I was mid-deuce when I thought, did I export that hour or did I just put the track in? Never mind. Just never mind.
To this day.
Everybody back to one!
To this day, this happened when I was a kid, and I will never forget it.
I remember something else up. Go ahead.
No. When I was a kid, it was me and one of my good buddies, and his name was Dave. Dave and I were in my room, and just not Nothing late.
No, I mean, I'm curious where this is going.
We're hanging out in my room watching TV, or just playing games, or video games.
Jim Norton on the radio.
Yeah, just doing what 12-year-old kids do,
messing
basically.
around.
And my friend Dave had the urge to expel gas.
Oh.
And so he made a production out of it. He kind of stood up and he goes, "All right, get ready." And he did the whole grunt face squat jobber, the whole 9.
Oh no.
And yes,
he proceeded to paint.
It was not
of
gas
his trousers
that is expelled. It was other things. And the look you gave me was the look that he had on his face.
Wow.
That's why every time I associate that look, that's what I go back to.
But there's the phrase gambled and lost. That is the biggest gamble of them all. In front of your friend.
Yeah, he made a whole production and everything.
Because you really, when you're standing up and squatting and grunting, you're taking away the, how do I put this? You're removing any chance of a curtain.
And
you're really trusting on the strength of your parts.
And the part that to this day makes me laugh and is so memorable, because right after the face, he just goes, "I gotta go," and then left.
I gotta go.
And then left.
It doesn't matter what's happening. I gotta go.
I gotta go.
That
was top 15 happiest days of my life when that moment went down.
Yeah, but it's got to be real bittersweet, pardon the pun, because while you're sitting there cackling after he left, you're stuck with the room smell.
Well, fortunately, he left before anything
bouffanted
created an issue in my world.
All right.
How he got home and what leavings on the way, I don't know.
It's a cold.
He did
walk
have to
home.
ride his bike a couple blocks back to the house to get home.
No. See, because no.
He was a street over, so he had to get back on the Huffy and back.
He was not streets ahead. That's no.
Poor Dave.
Enjoy your breakfast, everyone.
Welcome to hour 2.
The Deuce.
I heard the phone ring. I'm guessing our guest.
I think Josh just took off to grab him. Yeah, that trumps anything I was going to say. I was coming in here with a fun fact about a theme song, but never mind.
Well, the face.
The face. The face sometimes sets the hour.
Mm-hmm. But happy.
Apparently, I make that same face when I'm worried about local morning radio. That's how concerned I am about my job.
Well, it was just the way you just I'm like what's no but not that kind of
That's no. Not that kind.
Was the thing you did looking for?
No,
was
we're
that
good.
Okay.
We're still good.
After all I said, but the thing you're looking for.
Yeah, I just had to run in, make sure that the screen I was looking for was the screen I saw, and then we're good to go.
Got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Needs to be said.
Exciting. Exciting stuff.
My thing was way less interesting than your thing.
Yeah. So, don't forget football this weekend. We got a cavalcade of football action. The Coyotes are on the road. Going to Carlsbad.
Yes, taking on the Cavemen.
We will have that game for you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
My calendar
with the audio. Of course, we'll have Art and Kelly heading to Carlsbad to call that game. You can also watch live streaming video of the broadcast at ksvptv.com. Goddard Rockets are at home, and they're taking on, who are they playing?
I'm trying to find out.
I forget
right
off the top
now.
of my head.
Okay.
I want to say it's a Four Corner School or something.
Okay. Goddard Rockets are taking on the Panthers Piedra Vista.
Oh, Piedra Vista Panthers. Thank you.
And the Bulldogs are back at home.
They're hosting Cleveland.
Taking
That's a
on
big one.
Cleveland. The storm rolls in. I always think it's cocky because most teams, most high school, most teams in general go with like an animal or like a creature. It's pretty cocky when you name your team after a force of nature.
Well, they are a force in nature.
I know, but it's really saying, like, you have to, like, if you're in a building year and you're the storm, that's going to look real bad.
Well, Artesia will have their hands full.
Oh, absolutely.
It is the 6A champs taking on the 5A champs.
It's going to be it's going to be, as one of my favorite commentators of all time used to say, it's going to be a slobber knocker.
But that game will be on 990 AM and at KSVPTV.com and the Bulldogs channel. Got It Rockets hosting Piedra Vista, 106.1 FM Fierro for the radio broadcast. And then you can watch the game at KSVPTV.com and the Got It Rocket channel. But we'll have all three games, radio and video, this Friday night.
Yep.
Hopefully
they're in our neck of the woods.
The weather will cooperate.
I think that if as long as we get it out of our systems early. Here's the thing, Roswell gets rain like somebody who's holding back a sneeze. It's like all at once,
and right all over.
All of a sudden, there's like 13-inch puddles on the ground. I'm like,
hey, what happened?
What happened?
Yep.
It was swimming weather 10 minutes ago.
Well, I'm enjoying it. Enjoy your
absolutely.
week. Although they got to stop hiring Hallmark people to write the weather reports for the National Weather Service.
This is their time to shine, man. This is their their chance.
I'm going to read you today's weather forecast. Tell me there's not an easier way to say what they just said here.
Okay.
All right. Today, detailed forecast. Showers and possibly a thunderstorm before 1 p.m. Then scattered showers and thunderstorms between 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Then scattered showers after 4 p.m.
But see, there are not thunderstorms after 4.
Okay. Scattered showers and thunderstorms till 4, then scattered showers after 4. How hard is it to say that?
Well, you just said shattered showers. So
if I say it normally.
It's obviously a little difficult.
It's not.
I know
I
what
think they're
you're
getting
saying,
paid by the word.
But when you're a meteorologist or somebody who works for the National Weather Service and you're assigned to southeastern New Mexico, the keys on your keyboard for the words mostly sunny are probably worn down. You don't even see the letters anymore.
Yeah.
So they're so sick and tired of writing the same forecast every day that this is their chance to just kind of flow a bit. Let them cook.
But we don't
as the kids say these days.
We don't need the lady from Dude, Where's My Car to keep going, and then.
No, and then. Oh, see, we don't have time to talk about it, but that's actually an interesting topic that you bring up, because you, of course, bring up the famous Dude, Where's My Car, starring Ashton Kutcher, who's in a bit of hot water right now.
Last thing I heard was him and Mia Kunis wrote a statement for the dude from that 70s
for Danny
show
Masterson, and the internet was none too pleased about it.
I didn't hear or see what he said, or they said, but what happened?
Okay, basically, there was a lot of people. So we don't really. I know the guest is here. I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version of it. Danny Masterson convicted for 30 years of raping, sexually assaulting 2 underage girls.
Yeah, and this is years ago. The events that happened like 20, 30 years ago. Yeah,
but cut to. At his trial, at his sentencing, several letters were read, not just from Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, but also from Deborah Jo Rupp, who played the mom.
The cast, basically.
From the cast, but also from other people who have worked with him in the past. Not even so much like saying, he should be given leniency, but essentially saying the time that I knew him, he was a good person. He was worked towards drug-free lifestyle and all this, yada, yada, yada. It was just character letters to character. Where Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis messed up is basically they said in their letter, we hope that our defense of him gives you provides you the opportunity to be lenient on Danny.
Saying, hey, we're good people.
Yeah, exactly. Let our credibility shine on him.
Okay.
And the internet is none too pleased about that.
Yeah.
Basically, who do you think you are, essentially?
Yeah. Well, ask the victims.
Yeah.
If you think that.
And now a lot of people are looking into his past and things that he's said in the past.
Now, what's his name's Scientology guy, right?
Yeah.
So was this tied into that?
The
raping and all that?
Not necessarily, but I guess they might be they were part of his defense, essentially.
Gotcha.
This is one of the first times that someone who's in the Scientology community actually had to face consequences for their actions.
Gotcha.
So it's
this is kind of the stuff that Leah Remini and all and people like her have been shouting from rooftops for the last
so they're taking a victory
20
lap this week.
Absolutely. So, interesting.
But I digress.
We have the folks from the Chavez County Health Council joining us here in just a few minutes. I haven't seen or heard who's here.
Somebody is.
Oh, nobody's here? Oh, Dr. Powell's here. Okay.
Oh.
And we don't have any health council? All right, he's a week early.
We'll
bring him in. He's supposed to be here next. He's a week early, so let's bring Dr. Powell in. We'll do that since we don't have the health council here. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a stationary front overhead and low pressure bringing in some humid air, so showers and thunderstorms are a pretty good possibility today. Cool temperatures, too, will be in the low to mid 70s for the afternoon high. Pretty good chance of showers overnight and our low dropping into the low 60s, and then we get more wet weather on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms, skies will be cloudy, and our high right around 80. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. It's currently 65. Is it? It's not raining yet. Is it? Was it raining out there when you were out? A little bit. It just kind of looks cloudy at the moment, but 65 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76%. Winds out of the northeast at 7. After all them and thens earlier, we have a chance of rain pretty much all day today. 80% chance. Anywhere from a quarter to a tenth of an inch of rain today expected. If we get a thunderstorm, those amounts might increase. Winds will be out of the northeast today, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 70% chance of rain tonight. Cloudy with an overnight low of 61. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. We are looking at 70% for Wednesday as well. Mostly cloudy and a high of 83, so a little bit warmer tomorrow. Wednesday night, 60 or 50% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 63. Rain chances diminish Thursday and Friday, but they're still there. 20% chance of rain on Thursday, mostly sunny and 90. 20% Thursday night, 30% chance of rain on Friday, mostly sunny and 87. 40% chance of rain Friday night, so bringing them, not an umbrella, ponchos for football. Don't, because you know what's going to happen. You pop out the umbrella and you just block the view of the person behind you. Not a good fan. So put a raincoat on, and that way everybody can see. For Saturday, you're looking at a 30% chance of rain as well, partly cloudy, a high of 81. Sunday, 20% chance of showers with a high of 85. So I think we're going to get more moisture this week. At least that's the chances, and of course, cooler temps. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then Dr. Sean Powell is going to join us with Eastern New Mexico University Roswell on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
Most of the problems that people have with plants comes down to basic farm management. That means knowing what to plant and when to plant it. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Planting at the wrong time usually leads to disappointment and heartache, sort of like your first love. But planting at the right moment puts Mother Nature on your side, and that makes growing things easier and a whole lot more fun. So before you plant anything, come to see us at Roswell Seed, or just give it a try and hope for the best. It gives me a chance to say, I told you so.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Roll into Big O for big savings on oil changes and tires. From now until September 17th, get a $24.95 synthetic blend or $44.95 full synthetic oil change. Plus, get a $70 rebate on select Michelin brand tires and an additional $70 rebate on installation of select sets of 4 Michelin tires. Roll into Roswell Big O tires today. Installation charges extra. Required on all 4 tires. Not valid with other offers. Disposal fees and shop fees extra where permitted. Includes up to 4 quarts oil. Void where prohibited. See rebate form for terms and conditions. Additional retailer offer advertised within is independent from the manufacturer's offer.
The journey rolls on for your Goddard Rockets, and coming up this Friday night, your Rockets are back home at the Wool Bowl, taking on the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. Fiera 106.1 FM and KSVPTV.com have got you covered. Join Chris Deck and Chris Roybal for the pregame show beginning at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Rockets versus the Panthers of Piedra Vista High. Friday night beginning at 6:45 on Fiera 106.1 FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Dr. Sean Powell, president of Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell, back with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Mike. Thank you.
How's life at the campus there? Probably enjoying the little rain. We don't see it very often, so students are probably sprinting across the courtyards this morning to get to their classes.
There was a bit of rain yesterday, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but everything handled. You know, at that south end, I know things tend to flood. Everybody did okay with the rain so far.
As far as I know, I didn't get any calls at 2 in the morning.
Good. I just know south end we get rain. People like, all right, we be on the lookout.
Right. Yeah.
But of course, we're full into the fall semester now, and it's just the well-oiled machine of running a college and running a campus and having classes and people coming in, going to classes. People, it's a atypical life at a college right now.
Absolutely, and we feel very fortunate. Our enrollment's up, so we're meeting the needs of students. I think we're about 12% higher than we were last fall at this time, so things are good, and we appreciate the legislative support with the opportunity and lottery scholarships, and of course the governor's support of those things as well. I think that's some of the reason that we have the enrollment that we do right now.
Absolutely, and let's face it, you get more bang for your buck by going to Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. That's just facts.
Right.
And the beauty of what New Mexico did several years ago with your basic courses and all that are streamlined. It's the exact same curriculum, exact same numbering system, the whole deal.
Right.
So a class at UNM, English 101 at UNM cost a lot more than English 101 at Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. I'm just telling you, those are facts.
Well, I appreciate you pointing that out. And I'll have to do some research to make sure that
I'm pretty safe to say you're going to pay more per credit hour there than you will here.
I would think that's probably accurate. Yeah.
But and so I think people realize it's like I can get a great quality education. That, quite frankly, I'm not a number. And that's the other part I always say, too, is, I get getting spreading your wings, young kids coming out of high school ready to, break free from mom and dad and kind of be on their own a little bit. But when you go to bigger schools, that also becomes, you get lost in when you have a class size of 200 kids or students versus 20 or 30, there's a difference on how the curriculum is taught and how much access you have to your professor and all that kind of stuff. And so you go to a bigger college, you got to make appointments and do all kind of stuff just to talk to your teacher. ENMUR, raise your hand, or class is over, go walk up to the desk.
Right. Well, I appreciate all those comments, and I think our faculty would agree that there's a tighter connection with the students on our campus with smaller class sizes, and obviously in some of the career and tech ed programs, health education programs, where they have smaller classes than you would find at other.
And if
other
your goal is
locations.
to get a degree from UNM or Texas Tech or whatever, guess what? You're set the table to still do that, but you did it at half the price. And so that's what, look into this. This is there's a lot of opportunity that's right in your own backyard here.
Absolutely.
You do have some events and things coming up that we want to put on people's radar, though.
We do. And so next Monday, on the 18th, we're going to be doing our celebration and observation of Constitution Day.
All right.
Because we receive federal funding, one of the requirements that we have each year is to honor the Constitution. And so we do an educational component to that. Representative Nybert is going to come, and he's going to be our guest speaker, talking about the importance of the Constitution.
Excellent.
And the history of it. We'll have activities. The different clubs on campus will be available for students to participate, and members of the community are invited as well.
Well, and you look at the world we live in right now, and you see the debates and discussions that are going on here, and the best source, the best thing you can do when it comes to yourself and your family, when it comes to these things, is knowledge. Come out to this event. We all think we know the Constitution. We think, what I'm saying? I think, and this is open to everybody, not just students. If you're breathing and want to come on out to this. But I think every person should benefit in sitting down and hearing, what our Constitution is, and breaking down what it means, and having an understanding of what those words that were written in the Constitution and those Bill of Rights and those amendments. That's You have a lot of people in this world telling you what they think it means, but there's a lot of spin there. Let's hear it from, and that's what you're an institution of learning. So let's go from an education angle and say, what does that Constitution say? What does it really mean? Come in and let's see. And obviously with Representative Greg Nybert, who spends a good part of his day defending said Constitution, he's pretty well versed on that. So he'll probably have lots of information, and I'm sure if you have questions for him, even related to current affairs and things like that, he'll be happy to talk to you about some of this stuff.
And we will have the pocket-sized versions of the Constitution available at no charge for anyone who wants one. We'll have those available on campus.
Got a friend or two that wants one, grab one for them too.
Right.
And it's trust me, as I think, we are Americans. I believed in my heart we're the luckiest people on the planet. We have the greatest nation in the world, and we get so many freedoms that people that in other parts of the world just don't get. And I think many Americans don't realize some of that stuff because they've never set foot out of this country and see how other people live in their lives. And sure, there's a lot of great countries and other things, but it's different than it is here. And in my time in the military, I'm sure you've seen it in your own military experiences and things. Right. Life is done different in other parts of the world, and sometimes you don't realize how good you got it until you don't have it, and that's why I say, as an American citizen, it is your responsibility to understand that Constitution, and when you go to vote, when you go into those polling, that you vote educated, not based on pretty signs or so and so likes this person, so I'm going to like this person. No. Right. Educate yourself and vote with your knowledge in your heart, and understand the Constitution and know what you can and cannot do. I think as an American citizen, those are two things that we are obligated to do for each other. You have the freedoms to do everything else, but when it comes to elections, do your job. When it comes to understand that Constitution, know what you're talking about.
Well, and I think that's why I feel it's such a privilege to be at ENMU Roswell. We have such a great group of faculty and staff members there. And what I think about every day, Mike, is how we can best serve the community here in Chavez County, how we can help people improve their lives
Absolutely.
And their family lives as they either gain new skills or complete a degree or complete the general education and move on, whatever
Absolutely.
We can offer. And this is just one of those services, this Constitution Day. And I really encourage people to come out and attend this if they're available. It'll be next Monday, the 18th at 11 o'clock in the Instructional Training Center.
And then when you're done, go have lunch. Go into the student thing. I'm telling you, the burritos, like if you've never eaten there, maybe you've never been to the campus, or maybe, just come down and then have lunch afterwards. Come in and have a meal, and the food is excellent, and you might meet some people.
Right.
And then come explore the campus. It is a public campus. It's a community school. It is your school just as much as it is the students that are enrolled there.
Right.
And many of the services, and while you're there, maybe you're thinking, man, they got a cool gym. I'd love to get, but guess what? You don't have to sign up officially. There's ways to, or just take a class, like take an aerobics class. You don't have to be going for a degree. You could just be saying, I'm just trying to lose a few lbs here. I'm trying to do something to do that. Go take an aerobics class, or go take a lifting class, or go do any of the PE stuff. There's a lot there at the campus that isn't saying, I'm going to be an accountant, I'm going to be a bookkeeper, I'm going to be a lawyer, whatever it is. You could be just like, I just wanted to learn how to paint. I just wanted to learn sculpture. You know what? I stunk in American history in school. I'd like to go back and maybe take a refresher here. Or I love literature, English literature. I'd love to take a class and maybe find, you don't have to be pursuing a goal that means I'm trying to get a job or I'm trying to get a degree. Maybe you're just, I'm just trying to enrich my life in some way, shape, or form. And the college can do that too.
Well, on a couple of points along those lines, I ask our institutional research folks to tell me the demographics of the class. And so again, this fall, the age range goes from 13 to 76.
Love it.
So, we've got
be like that every year.
63-year span.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing to just make people aware of is we do have a second 8-week term that's going to start October 16th.
Okay.
We've got a lot of classes that are going to be open and are available. So if you didn't get in line or didn't get enrolled when the semester started in August, we will have another 8-week session coming up here in October.
And these are great too, because if your time scheduled and you're like, well, I can't commit to full in some of these classes, you can basically get the credit hours in half the time if you're trying to in a time crunch situation. So it works that way. Or if you're like you said, if you're just, hey, I'd love to do this, and I'm doing this just for my own personal growth, then shoot, a great 8-week class on this will be, and then, like I said, not the entire catalog is available for those 8-week classes, but there are some, I guess, probably more popular, more needed, desired classes that are available in that 8-week program there.
Right.
So.
And I think, again, if anyone's interested, just please go to our website and you can see what the class offerings are, and then you can contact one of our advisors. There's a block on our website front page where you can just click and make an advising appointment if you're interested in looking at those classes.
Yeah.
So, enrollment is over for the first part of the fall semester, but we have other classes coming up here.
You wouldn't get your money's worth. That's what you really, because you already missed much class. It'd just not be beneficial to anybody. So, but take some of these 8, and of course, now it's never too early to start thinking about spring. And, if you're not enrolled in the college and all that, you can get that done now. So here in a couple weeks, when the spring semester officially opens for enrollment and all that, you're ready to go. And that way you can sit down and talk with an advisor and really, if you got time, come down to the campus and really, because you'll do the application stuff. That's very easy. But then if you need like skill placement to figure out where, like if you're pursuing a degree and it's been a while since you took a math or English class, we can figure out where you're at and all those kind of things to see what level you're at. But if you're just saying, no, I work as a so-and-so and I'm trying to do some things to get promotions, what kind of things can I do? And the advisors will sit down and say, well, let's sign you up for this class, and this class. And then whatever your goal is, those advisors help you reach that goal. And that's what they're there to do. And then when you're done talking to them, go talk to the financial aid people, because I don't care if you're a millionaire or don't got 2 nickels to rub together. If we can get you to get someone else to pay for school for you, let's do that. All this like free stuff. So go talk to the financial aid and talk about what you need to do there and get your FAFSA forms filled out and all the stuff that's required there. And who knows? Not only could you, get some great education, but get it paid for, or at least partially paid for, just through some scholarships here. There's millions of dollars each year that go unclaimed because people just weren't aware of the scholarships or whatever. So goes, and it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you got, where you come from. There's probably a scholarship for you.
Absolutely.
There's no hurdles there. There's probably something there.
Right.
You won't know unless you go talk to the financial aid folks.
Absolutely.
So do that. What else is there? Something else? Sure. There was something else, but I couldn't remember.
There's another issue I did want to bring up, and so we're into the local election cycle this coming November, and so 3 of our community college board positions were open.
Okay.
And we didn't have anyone file for the District 1 position. This is following the Chavez County Commission district areas. So it's District 1, County Commission, District 1, if you will.
So if you, whatever county district you're in, you also are in the college board district.
And and we didn't have anyone file. Maria Trujillo has been in that position for a number of years, and she's stepping away, and we really appreciate all of her service that she's given.
We got to fill that void.
And so we're in the process of soliciting applications for that position, and then it'll be up to the board to make a determination.
What ward or district is hers that she represents?
District 1.
District 1, okay, I missed that part, sorry. So if you live in District 1, and this is also the same as like Dr. Powell saying, as the county commission jurisdiction. So if you get your voter registration card and it says what county district you're in, District 1, then you're in the district for the school board. Obviously, if you have background and experience in this area, then we're interested in you in stepping up. If you have no clue what we're talking about, probably not your thing.
Right. And if someone is interested, really what we're looking for is a letter of interest, and they could send that to Lindy Newman.
Okay. Is there any, other than living in that district, is there any other, like they have to have a college degree, or do they have to go on to the college? Is there any prerequisites or anything like that? Or
just be a registered voter and a member of that district is my understanding.
Okay. And obviously having an interest in wanting to help here is probably important. Otherwise, what are you doing?
Right.
Because you're trying to pad a resume or something, but it is and it really is a great working board, because not only do they make decisions for the curriculum, what direction Dr. Powell and the rest of the staff do, but they also the ones that do like are they involved with the foundation side too and all that, or is that a different board altogether?
So the foundation has its own board, and we really appreciate all the work they put in to the efforts to support.
But do they give
the
directives to that foundation too, or is that completely independent from it?
So there's an ex officio member from the board that serves on the foundation board.
Basically, the communication or just
some guidelines.
Yeah, makes sense. But they don't tell them what to do. They just kind of partner and say, hey, this is what we're up to. And that's that liaison, basically.
Right.
Makes sense. Very good. But if you'd like to be a part of that, too. And, of course, check in with the foundation, too. I don't know if they have board openings, but if you want to get involved with volunteering, the foundation side is like when you hear the golf tournaments every year and the scholarships, and that's the foundation. Absolutely. They're the ones that are raising money and providing opportunities for students that may have not had those opportunities in through other ways. So if you want to get involved in that side, please reach out to the foundation. I'm sure they're always looking, especially around golf tournament times and when they're planning their big yearly events. They can always use more volunteers and more people to be involved there, and it's all great stuff. It's all for education and every year they have a great success story, and I love hearing it every single year. And there's 100 of them, but we hear about one every year, and I love it. So.
Yeah. And they'll be having their banquet next month and be honoring some members of the community with different awards for their support of the campus. They do an individual award and a business award, and so they're looking to do that in October, and I can get more information to you about that banquet and when it's going to happen.
We'll do it next time here when you come in next month here, but. Absolutely. These are definitely ways to get involved. Are we talking bonds here in this or is that next year?
No, that'll be next year.
Okay, then we'll hit you on the bonds. But we're safe for today on that one. But I'll tell you this right now: when those do come, when it is election time, not this cycle, but be the next one, when you see the bonds A, B, and C on there, usually one's for libraries, one's for higher learning, and one's usually for senior centers and things like that. I just say vote yes on all of them. They're usually they have to every couple of years have to ask permission to reinstitute this. 99% of the time it never affects your taxes or anything like that. But they need the approval. So we every couple of years and when it happens we'll have Dr. Powell and of course General Grizzle and probably Brian Luck and everybody else. and talking about exactly what that money is going to be earmarked for, whatever project. I know your last one was a lot of security lighting, that kind of stuff around the campus, doing some upgrades and updating for some of that stuff, because lest we forget, that's an old Air Force base from many, many moons ago, and some of the facilities still are reminiscent of times when soldiers and airmen were loading bombs and launching airplanes out of there. So.
Right. That's true. That's true.
So some of the stuff needs updating, and that was the latest one here. So I'm just curious, what's the project earmarked for the next batch? Has that been determined yet?
We made presentations this past summer, and it'll be one of two projects. We're hopeful that the higher education department, the legislature, and the governor will support us. We want to expand our aviation maintenance technology center. We want to add about 10,000 square feet to it.
Well, and that is the gem. I mean, when we talk, ENMUR is a great campus and offer, but the uniqueness of that campus is because of that flight line and because of what was there. There are so many parts of curriculum in the aviation and drone and that side of things that a lot of colleges in this area can't touch and can't get into. So I love that you're expanding and embrace, because I think that might turn this campus into a destination camp. Like, it's a community campus and we'll continue to serve it. But I think this kind of stuff turns it from not only a community campus, but a regional institution, especially if you're going for flight training or aviation maintenance and that line of work. We're going to be the destination for that kind of stuff. You keep, because and I know, being in the military, you yourself, it is, if you have pilot / aircraft mechanic and any of that experience and that kind of thing, you can write your own ticket on where you want to live and where you want to work, because you're in demand on every single corner of the globe. So it's a good thing.
And the aviation maintenance program has been around for 50 years, and so it's been producing graduates that have served the aircraft industry in one component or another. We have industry reps that come in from Delta, United, American, all the major airlines come to our campus to talk to our graduates. We have some of them over at the spaceport working on the Virgin Galactic equipment that's going up into
cutting
space.
edge technology that we're seeing today. Yeah.
So it's just really amazing what can happen with that career, but you're absolutely right. And the thing I think about from this last May, the early college high school, we actually had a couple of the graduates from ECHS that finished, and they finished their associate's degree with us in aviation maintenance and got their high school diploma at the same time. Well, they're 18, and they can pretty much write their ticket wherever they want to go at that point.
It's amazing. It is. Trust me, I was a bomb loader in the Air Force. Part of me saying, man, I should have been a crew chief. That bombing thing wasn't very, I'm good and happy, but that's because, to be honest, what these young men and women are doing right now, the alternative version of that is signing up with Uncle Sam. There's no other place you're going to get anything like that unless you swear, put your hand on the Bible, and basically, speaking of Constitution Day, give up your constitutional rights and go be under UCMJ. That's the only other way that goes.
Yes, the Uniform Code of Military Justice does have some restrictions on constitutional rights and privileges. That's for sure.
So please, that's what I love. That so we'll talk hot and heavy about a year from now. But vote on those bonds when they come in.
Absolutely,
good thing. And in the meantime, now please come register. Come to the campus. Come to Constitution Day here on the 18th. And what time did you say that was? 11?
It's going to be 11 o'clock.
11, so you can get there and then have lunch right afterwards, and or come and check out the campus. Knock on wood, hopefully the weather will cooperate that day, and it'll be a beautiful day to walk around on the campus there and all that stuff. So, and then, of course, if you're looking for classes, maybe just one class, or we got the next 8-week courses coming up here in the next week or two, so now's the time to enroll and register. You're kind of behind the 8 ball on that one. But get it done. You can still get it done here now. And then, of course, start perusing the website. Start talking to advisors. And if you're interested in signing up for the fall or the spring semester here in January, now's the time to do your legwork and get that. Because if you try to do it in December or that first week or two in January when the campus, everybody and their uncle's going to be there doing the same thing you are, and it gets a little busy. if you got time to stroll and do it, you'll be so much. And that way, you can actually get enrolled and everything, and then go online and sign up if you want to and do it. But it's save yourself a little bit of headache and hassle by doing it that way.
Absolutely.
And then of course, talk to advisor. Questions, anything, any of that stuff, and that campus is there for you and everybody else, and it's a community campus. Come be a part. Like Dr. Powell was saying, the average or the range of students. 13 to, was it 70?
76.
76. That's a pretty wide gamut, and that's a great thing, and that's the way it should be every year. That college is not just for 18 to 24-year-olds. It's for everybody that wants to get ahead and be better and do things.
Absolutely.
Good deal. Is there anything we didn't cover, Dr. Powell, that you wanted to?
I would just want to throw out that our adult education program is doing a great job.
Good deal.
We had an award because they were I think, fourth highest in the state in terms of number of graduates with the high set or the GED, the high school equivalency, if you will. And so they got recognized again this year. So they're doing a really good job. They work with the Youth Challenge cadets as well. And so their class is back, and we love to have the Youth Challenge cadets on campus.
Yeah.
I think the only other thing I can think of right now is the turkey trot will be coming back in November. That's the Saturday before Thanksgiving, and we'll look to get more information out to the community about that 5K. It's a fun run walk, and it's a food
Is that a
donation.
foundation fundraiser, or is that just a campus?
It's a campus fundraiser for the food pantry.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, so the entry fee is non-perishable food items.
Good deal.
And the David Gonzalez family, David Gonzalez and the Gonzalez family did a run a couple of weeks ago, and they did the same thing where the entry was a non-perishable food item, and they donated that to our food pantry.
Cool.
To
Yeah,
help our students.
we had his daughter and son on talking about that event, and good. Well, obviously, with his media cable, in the studio there, and his family. That's a great thing, and don't forget that's something too for the Student Resources Center veterans. They've added these new resources in the last year or two on the campus for students there. If you're in need of food or help, assistance, if you're a student, if you're a veteran, there are resources there for you to go and utilize. Please do so. That's why they're created for and to help. I get it. College students, you got a lot of balls to juggle, and sometimes things ends don't meet sometimes,
right?
And you need help, and that's what those are there for. And so, love to see that. So, if you want to support that, come out on a brisk fall morning. Right. Hopefully, it'll be brisk still by then, or we're not still dealing with 100. But a brisk fall morning, and come and run and see if you can beat Dr. Powell, because he's probably setting the pace. He's usually the pace setter.
And again, it's a walk run, and it's a fun event, and it's. Again, to support the food pantry, and also for us. So it's either a non-perishable food item or dog or cat food. And again, we'll get more information out for the Friends of Roswell Animals about what they're looking for to support their mission.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get that out. But start collecting or saving, setting aside now, and helping out there. And in the meantime, I'm sure they're always accepting donations too. If you're just wanting to help out and you're like, well, I don't need a turkey trot right now, but here's some food to help out in the meantime.
Absolutely.
Please call that way you can find out what hours they can accept and can accept, and the logistics side of it. Because I'd hate for you to just drop stuff and no one's there available, and because unfortunately when that happens and it gets left and it doesn't always get intended to what it, things happen. So that way you can call and make arrangements to do all that kind of stuff. Good deal, but utilize those resources. I think, does the website have a little bit more information at roswell.enmu.edu?
It does.
That is the official website for ENMU Roswell. If you want to sign up for classes, learn about all the services and everything we've been talking about, go there to the website. I would also invite you, if you're a Facebook user, to like and follow. There's several different Eastern New Mexico University Roswell pages. Right. There's one that I think you constantly update and do discussions and chats on. There's your general information. Obviously, if you're a student and you're getting weather delays and stuff, that's usually one of the quicker ways to get that information. Right. So it probably behoove you to like and follow that anyway. So a good way to stay connected with what's going on the campus and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, good deal.
Well, appreciate you taking time, and
Anytime.
On the show today.
We'll see you next time, and enjoy the cooler weather while we got it.
Absolutely.
So, do you like to run in the rain? Is it more fun to run in the rain, or
it's better to be dry?
Although, if you're going to do it, now's the time to do it rather than January.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, August/September run in the rain is probably a lot nicer than a January run in the rain.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Powell. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, 8:52. Let's pause for news. A Cowboys report. You guys are still undefeated and going to win the Super Bowl because you won 40-0. So everybody, Cowboys Super Bowl. So you're still happy. Wait till Sunday when it's all mad again. But for now, we'll get you a Cowboys report and quick break. Don't go away.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. Xcel Energy is touting its economic impact on the region, claiming it not only provides electricity to power the area's robust economy, but also contributes a substantial amount of economic support through hundreds of millions of dollars spent on goods and services. The energy company also says it spends millions in taxes and fees paid to state and local governments. Last year, Xcel claims it bought nearly $784 million in goods and services from businesses in Texas and New Mexico, while local governments and school districts benefited from nearly $177 million in franchise fees and tax revenues. Everyone is invited to explore 7 Roswell museums for free this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's the first ever Museum Day Roswell. The purpose behind Museum Day is to encourage exploration of the city's local museums that can inspire people and enrich lives. Local museums offer an opportunity to discover new ideas and perspectives and to celebrate local culture. Organizers at the Roswell Museum aim to make the multi-museum event, as well as visiting local museums any day, not only educational, but fun and inspiring for all ages. You can find the full schedule at roswellmuseum.org. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Hey everyone, with your Cowboys report, I'm Christy Scales. The storyline for Sunday's Jets-Cowboys game took a major plot turn when Aaron Rodgers was carted off with an ankle injury last night, and the Jets still managed to beat the Bills. Details after this.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport, above, beyond, at McAllenAirport.com.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Sunday's home opener hosting the Jets was supposed to be Aaron Rodgers against the Cowboys defense, but Rodgers is in a walking boot after injuring his left ankle on just his 4th play in last night's Jets-Bills game. Just before last night's kickoff, Cowboys linebacker Leighton Vander Esch was our guest on the Cowboys Hour, and he told us why he had been looking forward to playing Rodgers.
It's exciting to play against caliber players like Aaron Rodgers. You really got to be in your A game. It's a good test to see where we're at week after week.
Zach Wilson took over for Rodgers, and the Jets got the win thanks to a stingy defense and a punt return touchdown in overtime by Stephen F. Austin's Xavier Gibson. With your Cowboys report, I'm Christy Scales.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a stationary front overhead and low pressure bringing in some humid air, so showers and thunderstorms are a pretty good possibility today. Cool temperatures, too, will be in the low to mid 70s for the afternoon high. Pretty good chance of showers overnight, and our low dropping into the low 60s, and then we get more wet weather on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms, skies will be cloudy, and our high right around 80. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. A rally for big tech stocks on Monday helped Wall Street claw back about half its loss from last week. Last week, some big technology-oriented stocks led the way. Tesla jumped 10.1%, Amazon climbed 3.5%, and Meta Platforms rose 3.2%. A prolonged coordinated strike by the United Auto Workers Union against the Detroit 3 automakers could cut production by thousands, potentially pushing up vehicle prices and causing supply chain disruptions, according to analysts. The auto industry is on edge as the current 4-year contracts between the UAW, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis for hourly U.S. workers expire on midnight September 14th. J.M. Smucker on Monday agreed to buy Hostess Brands, the maker of Twinkies, for $5.6 billion, including debt in a deal that unites 2 major American snack makers. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating 2 companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
So you think drinking alcohol can't hurt you? It'll mess you up big time. Say adios to large chunks of your brain. Major damage is already being done. Other parts of your body are getting wrecked too. Forget about sports, forget about school, forget about doing much of anything. Underage drinking freaks out your body, messes up your life.
Sponsored by the NMDOT.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:59. Stay tuned next hour. Here about 9:15 or so. John LeMay going to join us with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico. He'll probably talk a couple things. Talk about books, his latest book, things like that. Also, touch base on a big event coming up here October 14th. Not only is that the solar eclipse day, but it is also the Books and Blooms event at the Historical Society. So you can, John will tell us more about what's going to be involved in that. And then, of course, bring your glasses. If you do have, get you the lunar or the solar eclipse glasses, bring them with you. Maybe if you talk nice to Amy, maybe she'll let you up on the archives roof and you can watch the solar eclipse there. But it's also that day, too. But we'll talk with John LeMay next hour. Let's get you into news first. We'll be back.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The manhunt for a convicted killer, now armed with a stolen rifle and ammo, goes on in East Pennsylvania. Police say Danilo Cavalcante has been spotted again. He was seen in Chester County's South Coventry Township. It's about 25 miles northwest of Philadelphia. People in the area being urged to stay alert, lock their homes and vehicles. George Bivens with the Pennsylvania State Police says Cavalcante's sister has been detained by immigration officials and could face deportation.
The sister is an overstay, and she chose not to assist, and because of being in an overstay status, she has been entered into a deportation proceeding and is being detained at this time.
Danilo Cavalcante escaped from a prison in Chester County almost 2 weeks ago. There is a $25,000 reward for information leading to his apprehension. On the heels of America's observance of the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, Senator Tom Cotton says it's important not to lose sight of the lessons learned on that horrific and tragic day.
As we look back on that terrible morning, it's a reminder that
there are monsters out there in the world, and they mean to do the United States harm, and that we didn't take them seriously in the 1990s, and that we should be taking them seriously now.
The Arkansas Republican speaking with the Salem Radio Network's Hugh Hewitt. Some Republicans argue the lessons of 9/11 are lost on the Biden administration as it opened the southern border wide to all comers, likely including some with the intention of doing us harm. North Korea's Kim Jong-un and Russia's Vladimir Putin. Those two are meeting in Russia, expected to work out a deal involving North Korean arms for Russia and Russian economic and military assistance for North Korea. On Wall Street, the Dow down 37 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
The judges of Israel's Supreme Court have started hearing petitions to strike down a judicial reform law advanced by the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
They have been listening to arguments, the judges, from petitioners who basically say they want the court to strike down a law that was passed, a legal change that was passed by the government back in July. This really cancels the ability of all courts in Israel, including the top one, the Supreme Court, to strike down government decisions, government actions.
The BBC's Yolanda Nell in Jerusalem. The controversial reforms have sparked often raucous demonstrations across the country and across a vast spectrum of Israeli society. Proponents of the plan say the country's unelected judiciary, led by the Supreme Court, has accumulated far too much power, and they argue that it's time to rebalance Israel's governing structure. News and analysis, townhall.com. An American researcher who got very sick deep inside a cave in Turkey is now back on the surface, getting the care he needs following a dramatic rescue.
Dozens of rescuers cheering after American Mark Dickey was pulled from the Morka cave in southern Turkey.
It is amazing to be above ground again.
He was strapped to a stretcher, suspended vertically by wires because the cave entrance was so narrow. The 40-year-old fell seriously ill September 2nd while he was some 3,000 feet below ground.
I kept throwing up blood. And then my consciousness started to get harder to hold on to.
Dickey is thanking the hundreds of International Rescue Group members who responded to his health crisis. I'm Jackie Quinn.
More than 2,800 deaths attributed to the devastating earthquake in Morocco. A 6.8 magnitude trembler centered high in the remote Atlas Mountains. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM.
Nice.
I'm not going to lie.
I love it.
It doesn't feel like 9:06.
No, it feels very early still. There's not even a hint of sun.
I know. It feels like
it's still in the 60s.
Like I mean, for a hot second, I'm like, it's really already 9:06?
Yeah.
Sure it's not 7:06? Yeah, it's 9:06 in the a.m. and it looks like 7:06 in the a.m.
Yep.
So
keep on trucking, Rain. Keep on trucking.
Our high today is near 70.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
It's currently 65.
Like, I shouldn't be this gleeful about weather, but
I am.
It's been so bad. It's been so miserable.
I just want to sit outside and just like sit in a park bench.
I'm tired of being just sweaty all the time.
Yeah.
My head is just soaked.
I just want to sit on the park bench and watch the world go by.
Right?
Be nice and cool. Be good.
My head looks like your thumb after you've been swimming for an hour at this point. It's just pruned up.
But, yes, more rain on the way, hopefully. Between the week of it, we got a chance of rain all week. So.
Now, if we could just regulate it to where it doesn't have to be a sheet of clouds for us to have a reasonable day. Like, if there's any hint of sun, it's going to be hot today.
Yeah. Well, the humidity.
Exactly.
Well, and that's what I'm a little worried about later in the week. Because we're going to be back upper 80s near 90 around Thursday, Friday time frame. And I'm like, that's going to be a little muggy.
It's going to be muggy.
Yeah, a little muggy. We'll see. But it certainly can't be as bad as it was growing up.
I'm just really looking forward to... Oh, and this is... It's proof positive of what people have said that kids, young people, will, in any condition, still wear a hoodie. I was at a gas station the other day, and there was a bus had stopped off to get drinks and stuff. And there was one kid who was just wearing a thick hoodie and shorts.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like 103 outside.
Yeah, it can't be comfortable.
How are you in a hoodie?
Yeah, well, it can't be comfortable.
I know it's a style choice, but my God, why?
Yeah. But even like I've got one or two hoodies that are light, like T-shirt light.
Right.
But they're still hoodies.
It's a long sleeve T-shirt with a hood.
And it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the idea of material sticking to my skin.
Yeah. Now, I can understand if you burn easily, and so maybe you have a lighter long sleeve.
Yeah.
You know, because like a lot of times you'll see people that work out all the time. They're in a long sleeve, a lighter one, because they don't want to burn up.
I'll tell you, who I feel bad for is Thomas, because his whole summer has been spent long sleeve button downs.
Yeah.
He looks consistently uncomfortable in those.
But he spends a lot of time in his truck.
Sure.
With his air conditioning on the phone. So I think he makes up there.
Oh, yeah, no, he's fine.
And he does keep a gelatinous jug of water with him at all times.
That's true.
It's like I have my cup, which I think is pretty big. By the way,
you also have your jug down there, right?
Yeah, but I don't use the jug anymore.
Right.
I need to take the jug home. It just hasn't made its way home. But he has like one of these igloo coolers that are about 3 times this size that he carries around with him. And it's funny. I can see him. You want a drink? And
Have you seen those cups that have the lines on them? Based on like it's like a gallon cup, and it has lines based on like what time you're supposed to have finished this much water.
Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Well, it's kind of cool because it also has like little motivational. Hey, you got this. Keep going.
Yeah.
I think I would rather have one that mocks me. It's like that's all you've drank so far. Come on, your mama could drink more than that. just mock me as I drink.
Yeah, I'm not into that. I've lived my life where I had that happen to me, and I don't want that. You know, because you're in your basic training, at least when I was in, they literally forced water down.
I dated someone who was in the military and took quite a bit of pride in how clear her pee was. Consistently, that was a topic.
Well, it was because, and they had an incident, so I'm not sure if years ago, where someone actually like drowned from drinking too much water.
It's happened. Oh, I'm sure in basic, but it's happened. You know, it's happened in radio.
Right, but it's happened in basic training where they had an incident, and because, and so I don't know if it's quite the same now. But when I was in, they like when we go to mealtime, and they always had. If you've been to college or any kind of, any
dorm
kind of cafeteria
cafeteria
style, they have that glass that's That's about the size of a.
It's a juice glass.
Yeah, basically, it's it's probably holds 10 ounces of liquid, maybe.
It's clear, but it's got that like stained foam on it. Or
some have that little bubble in it shape, kind of, you know. Anyway, so we had to drink 3 or 4 of those, like before we drank anything else. So like they had milk and juice and soda and things you could get to drink.
Sure.
And they're like, yeah, have a soda, fine, but you're drinking 4 waters first or 3 waters first, whatever it was. And matter of factly, that was what we did. Was usually when we sat down to eat, gloop, 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 then we start eating, and then go
grab another beverage.
But yeah, you know, if you left the chow hall and there was still water in your glasses, they were going to eat your lunch, and not in a good way.
No. After you ate your lunch, they'll eat yours.
So. I don't like being told to drink water on demand, and I don't need anybody saying you're not at your goal. Screw you. I'll drink when I'm thirsty.
Exactly.
Now I do drink a lot of water.
Yeah,
just by nature. But
and where we live, you sort of have to. But you also got to make sure you're getting them salts, make sure you're getting them electrolytes.
And I just like ice cold water. I'm just sometimes in sodas or teas don't scratch that itch, and I'm just like, and I want the water. And usually in the mornings in here, and that's kind of when and I generally start every morning by drinking a thing of water, ice water. That's kind of I'm usually thirsty just because of my body's. But and I think the reason I started that was because I remember years ago seeing like Dr. Oz or someone like that saying, you should start your day with a glass of water. I was like, why not?
I want to get.
I can do that.
This is going to sound creepy now that I think about it, but I want to get a camera in my room just to see in which position it is that I fall asleep in that I wake up and my tongue is just bone dry in the morning.
Open mouth.
Yeah, I know, but which position? Because I almost never sleep on my back. So in which position am I that I'm, a mouth agape?
Side or belly?
Again, never belly. It's almost always side. I flip flop.
So I move around.
Yeah.
I start out laying on my back, but before I fall asleep, I roll over on my side. And then sometimes I'll flow the other side. Sometimes I end up on my stomach. Kind of that sideways thing, Sometimes I'm in a ball. I curl up sometimes, and so I'm in like a fetal position on my side, and that's one way I sleep too. One thing I don't do is stretched out on my back. I'll lay that way for 10, 15 minutes or whatever until I get tired of it, and then I roll my side and fall asleep.
I have a giant bed, but I use this much of it.
Yeah.
Because I sleep right now. It's air conditioner season, so I've been sleeping kind of at the foot of my bed in front of the air conditioner, essentially. But yeah, it's.
Well, I have my wife with me in bed, so I don't get to.
Oh, well, brag. I
don't get to sleep wherever I want on the bed. I got
some
my
of us
designated
make
spot.
mistakes.
I gotta have my designated spot. I can't move. Although my wife spreads, as tiny as a person she is, she spreads.
Yeah.
I'll get hit in the night with arms. She likes to, and this is a pet peeve. She likes to stick her hand under my pillow.
Oh, yeah?
Like slide it under. And that's fine if you leave it there, but when you start moving around and I'm laying here, I'm like, my head's just bopping around because she's moving. That gets a little bit.
I did actually fell victim to that once. Arm under the pillow. They fell asleep, and I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna like move my arm and wake them up. So I just kind of like did everything just like with my arm pinned.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And
reach
she's
for my phone.
And she's notorious for stealing covers because she tucks and rolls.
Oh yeah,
like she sleeps and she'll tuck the blankets under her arms and then she'll roll over the side and they just.
See, he's saying all this because he knows she's at work right now.
I've said these to her too.
Oh, I know.
Because she knows that she does these things because I've told her.
Right.
It's like you hit me again. I have kicked her though. Like there's been a couple times where I've been moving and all of a sudden I hear "ow" and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I guess I was rolling over and shot a foot out and a gut shot or something. I hit her. So I have done that to her by accident too.
I have a bad habit of if I'm asleep, I'm just jutting awake, and I've startled people who were trying to get to sleep as I fall asleep and then just jut awake.
Yeah.
People, what the?
I'm not too much about that. I have had it happen, but generally I don't. I kind of what's going on? All right. So,
right.
A lot of times, but that one, the kicking and punching, that one's it's all accidental but I'm a mover in my sleep, so I do tend to throw a fist
I like
out
how
or a leg
I've
out.
kicked her a couple of times in my sleep.
Well, in this world, you got to be
Wink.
caveat about that. 'Cause, next thing you know, it's like he's beating on his wife. No, I was sleeping. Well, and after my wife's incident a year ago with the head injury, and the first thing they were like accusing me of being, I'm like, no, that happened. No.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they automatically default to this creepo did something.
So the takeaway here: never let your wives go to the doctor. That's what we're really trying to drive home.
Yeah, I had to play defensive just a little. I mean, not bad.
I know.
But it was enough to like, no, don't even think that dude. You know,
Right.
no, not even close. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not.
No. Besides, we all know Kim could take you.
You probably would. You know?
She'd El Kabong you with her guitar.
I'm not tough. I talk a lot, but one shot and I'm down.
I could just see her going full blown Jeff Jarrett on you.
That's right. You can take me to a loser's got to go to a cave.
We're gonna go to a loser's got to take a El Kabong by his wife match. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Did they do any tributes or anything to him?
Oh, they've done several. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
It was kind of tough because it was a 1-2 punch because Terry Funk died one day. The very next day,
right.
Bray Wyatt died.
Yeah, and Bray Wyatt had a bigger following.
Well, yeah, Bray Wyatt, he's
younger people.
He's more active.
Yeah.
I would say that Terry Funk's probably more of a lasting in-ring legacy, but Bray Wyatt definitely was more of the moment.
Yeah, when Bray Wyatt was a little kid sucking on his pacifier,
right.
Terry Funk was wrestling.
He's watching Terry Funk strap matches.
Yeah,
and yeah, that's not wrong. But at the same time, Bray Wyatt was also consistently the highest merch seller for WWE. So he was, he definitely was.
Oh yeah, he's got his. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in the lexicon of things. He's probably got more of a following.
Right.
But Terry Funk has got more of a history.
So luckily they managed to not bury Terry.
Yeah.
Behind Bray.
Like I imagine all of Bray's fans are 20-somethings, where Terry's fans are guys our age,
right.
older.
And a lot older.
Or Bray's probably, the Wyatt family.
What's crazy is, I think it was only about maybe 2018, 2019 that he officially retired from wrestling. He was going up until just a couple of years ago.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, doing those like hardcore.
I thought he was still doing it every once in a while. To be honest, I thought every once in a while
probably
he was
does roll out every now and again.
Yeah, I thought he was still doing like that.
Loser has to do an Ensure commercial.
Stuff. Yeah.
Well, he was with CZW for a Combat Zone Wrestling for a while, which was like the real like blood and 2x4s and all that. So he was doing kind of that style of death match or whatever you want to call it for a while.
Yeah.
But
back in the day,
I thought that he retired from active. Combat.
Wasn't he in one of those famous wrestling ones where they basically put the ring on a pond and they electrified the pond?
He's been in a lot of the. Well, he was in. Famously,
he was in Japan.
He was famously in an actual when it actually worked, an exploding barbed wire death match.
I remember. Yeah.
Where that video, they actually had to pan back to the stadium camera to see that.
Well, it was
full
so hot
explosion.
they were worried about burning up in that. And I remember watching the Dark Side of the Ring on that, and they were talking about it was like being in an inferno, and we thought we were going to burn up alive in the middle of that ring because it got so hot so quick. Yeah, and but that was also one of them episodes, and I maybe Terry Funk wasn't that, but they were talking about some of them Japan leagues, and they literally had a match where they put the ring in like this body of water. They electrified the water.
I think that was him. I'm pretty sure that was him, actually, yeah.
And then literally when they get thrown out of the ring, they're getting electrocuted in the pond of water.
That's psychopathic. Just fish just coming up.
I know. It's like, good Lord.
This is how me and Daddy fish.
All right. We're eating good tonight, boy. Is John here yet? I know he said he was.
Yeah, I think
he said he was running late, but he's going to be here. So, that's it. Sweet. All right then. Oh, there's John. All right, sweet. So
Just let us banter.
I'll stop talking about Terry Funk now.
I got to get out of here before the hotness quotient gets off the charts.
Yeah, it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. John LeMay going to join us here in just a few. Before we do that, though, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a stationary front overhead and low pressure bringing in some humid air, so showers and thunderstorms are a pretty good possibility today. Cool temperatures, too, will be in the low to mid 70s for the afternoon high. Pretty good chance of showers overnight and our low dropping into the low 60s, and then we get more wet weather on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms, skies will be cloudy, and our high right around 80. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Good morning, and it is currently 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 76%. Humidity out of the, or 76% humidity, winds are out of the east at 8 miles per hour. Raining, that's what we got. We're looking at, officially, they're saying our chance of rain is 80% today, but it's rains all day. This morning, this afternoon, this evening, rain chances. High of only 70 today. Under cloudy skies here. Winds will be out of the southeast this afternoon, 5 to 10 miles per hour. So they say we could get anywhere from a tenth to, well, they're saying less than a tenth of an inch unless we get a thunderstorm today. 70% chance of rain for tonight as well. Cloudy with an overnight low of 61. For your Wednesday, we're looking at a 70% chance of rain tomorrow. Mostly cloudy and 83 for a high. Winds will be out of the south at around 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, we're looking at more rain chances, a 70% chance of rain Wednesday night. Mostly cloudy, 63 for an overnight low. Thursday, 20% chance of rain, mostly sunny, and 90 for a high. Friday, 30% chance of showers with a high of 87, and then a 40% on Saturday, partly cloudy and 81. 20% on Sunday, partly cloudy and 85. So, going to get rain. I think so. I think we got a good chance. All right, it is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then John LeMay with the Historical Society going to join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Eastern New Mexico University in Portales is proud to offer potential students the opportunity to attend ENMU tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. And now we're proud to announce the newly created Freshman Hound Housing Room Grant, which will allow students the opportunity to receive up to $3,000 per year off their housing costs when living on the ENMU campus. For more information on how ENMU is making higher education more affordable for you and your family members, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success, that's what we're about.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. When was the last time you looked forward to sleep? Let's be honest here. You know a restful night's sleep has more health benefits than you consciously think about during the day. Here at Glenn's, we carry Serta mattresses, and they've been in the business for more than 90 years. Choosing one can be hard, but I want you to know we have your back. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
Are you ready to make a real difference in your community? Introducing the New Mexico Army National Guard. Serve your community with pride and become a part-time hero. Join our dedicated team and enjoy the adventure of a lifetime. Get full-time benefits without sacrificing your current career or education. When disaster strikes and your community needs assistance, you'll be there to lend a helping hand. So don't miss out on the opportunity to receive education, adventure, and financial stability, all while serving your country. Get started by calling 1-800-GO-GUARD.
The journey rolls on for your Roswell Coyotes, and coming up this Friday, your Coyotes travel to Carlsbad to take on the Cavemen. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com have got you covered. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show beginning at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Cavemen of Carlsbad, Friday night beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, author and Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico member, John LeMay, back with us. Morning, John.
Morning, Mike.
How you doing today?
Good. It's nice and rainy.
Nice and rainy. Kind of nice change of pace.
Yeah.
So kind of nice to get that little change of things. So that mess up your schedule for today? Or
Nope.
Nope. He's good to go.
Rain nor shine, I'll write a book.
Write a book and hit the gym.
That's right. Yeah.
Is it easier or harder to write a book on a rainy day?
It doesn't really make a difference, I don't think. Yeah.
I didn't know if you get distracted. You're like, I want to. But sometimes raining is reading weather.
Yeah.
And if you want to read them right, then sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I imagine to be a writer, you have to read almost as much as you write, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I always tell people, that when they ask me to read their book, I'm like, I'm sorry. Everything I read right now is not for pleasure. It's for whatever project I'm working on.
Sure. Yeah. But, yeah, and because you're constantly in.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, I'm just gee whiz curious now. Like, what do you read for pleasure? Like, is it Godzilla stuff?
Nothing anymore.
But if you had the opportunity, what would you grab?
Kind of the stuff that I'm writing. So like you said, a film history that I'm interested in, or just, obviously I'm interested in the books that I'm reading. Sure. It's just like they're technically for work.
Right.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it like when you're like, hey, I want to read something, like you're just like, I'm going to grab some kind of, I don't know, trashy romance novel or a Stephen King book or something like that, some work of fiction.
Yeah, no fiction lately anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, like my newest book is the New Mexico Book of Witches.
Yes.
So I enjoyed reading the old historical accounts of real witchcraft in New Mexico. It was really fascinating. What people believe, what their methods were to ward it off, things like that.
What do you cover more modern to the older stuff, or more the older, or a little bit of both?
I stuck to the older stuff.
Okay.
I feel like the modern stuff, because some of the people could still be alive, is more scary. But
I just thinking were they doing like what they were doing in the 30s? Is it different than they say they're doing in the 1850s or something?
No, not too different. No.
Okay, because that's the part I imagine. Well, and let's face it, South. We're not that far from El Paso. And when I think of like witchcraft and all that kind of thing, the killer Ramirez in the 70s, he was a Satan worshiper and all that, and he did all his killing there in California, but he's buried there in El Paso, and because I think that's where he's from originally or something. And to this day, like witchcraft, the Satan worshipers, that genre of people still go out there and do weird stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's some like desert a cemetery that he's buried at out there. It's a big cemetery, but even to this day, so I was just curious if you get even some of the modern stuff that goes on around here too. But I watched that show Ghost Adventures. You ever heard of that? And I haven't watched it recently, but the guy that's the lead of that show is kind of a weirdo. But anyway. But they have a lot of shows out in the desert, either around here or Arizona, and a lot of it's tied to like some of this witchcraft stuff.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of curious, how much you get into some of that. But so a lot of your stuff is kind of Old West witchcraft.
Yeah,
and that
Spanish
kind of
colonial, like when Spain first conquered New Mexico and took it over, and there was a lot of conflict between them and the Native American beliefs, and because the Native Americans, they have their own witches and their own priests that they call medicine men, so there's a big difference.
But a lot of their stuff's nature-based, and, kind of, like, and I'm not really knowledgeable on witchcraft and things, but I'm probably leaning more towards, like, what Wiccans kind of do, if y'all are familiar with Wiccan. That's very much like Mother Earth kind of style stuff. And I think that's more closer what Native Americans practice.
So what the Apache believe is really similar to both Judaism and also Star Wars.
No, really?
That sounds funny.
Like with the Force style. I mean, they probably didn't call it the Force, but
I don't call it the Force, but yes, it's really cool. So obviously, the Apache, before the Spaniards came, before they were put on reservations, they didn't have a Bible to read.
No,
and yet what they believe is remarkably similar to the Jews of the Old Testament, because they would go out. They would fast in the wilderness for about 4 days, and then they call God Usan, and Usan would give them what they call the power.
Okay.
And it would just be a spiritually intuitive gift that they would be given. And to them, the power is like the Force in Star Wars. So it's really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and I've seen and this is where Hollywood and real life kind of, blend, but also misinform. A lot of times you'll see and it's not restricted to Apache, it's generally any kind of Plains Native American. In movies and stuff, they always they have to go on their walkabout, or they go on their, and I'm thinking that's kind of like what you're explaining is kind of they're going to find their connection with God and their purpose in life kind of thing. and so they may call it different things, but that's kind of like, it seems like they're trying to express the same thing.
Yeah. So to the Apache, basically their power could be either good or bad. So if you used it for bad, you were a witch. If you used it for good, then you were a medicine man.
Okay.
That's how they kind of viewed it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what happens to the witches? Do they get shunned, or do they start their own little...
Oh, yeah, they'd get burned at the stake. And,
okay, even in the native communities and things?
But I mean, like, seriously, though, when they talk about witches, they were killing people, they were killing children, so, I mean, they deserved it.
Right.
It's not like...
In their heads.
Yeah, it's not like, imagined. I mean, they typically had proof in a lot of instances.
So they were doing nefarious stuff as witches,
sure.
and but if they just came back and said, "Oh, I'm a witch, guys," no,
I think if there was no proof, they would just get like excommunicated from the tribe.
Gotcha. I didn't know if they went and formed their own little covens or something like that.
Yeah,
their own little tribe somewhere, and that begat that tribe of Apaches. This is a sect of Apaches, but they're the witches. They're the
No, they're usually very secret. That's kind of like the Sith in Star Wars.
Yeah,
there's only 2 at a time or something.
Right.
Not exactly, but I mean they don't really have tribes. They're just off on their own.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But if you want to learn more about this, get your latest copy.
Yeah, and I mean some people are, especially Roswell people, are afraid of it. But I'm like, why don't you just learn how it works? It can't hurt you to learn. It's not like it's a.
Well, most of our fears are for lack of understanding, and that's why humans fear things mostly. And you're right. I there's lots of things I read and research about that I would never ever do or support or practice, but I want to know, that it's Schindler's List. You know, no one wants to watch that be entertained, but to understand what those folks were dealing with at that time. Yeah. And, it's a great way to give you that experience, and that doesn't mean you want to go out and do it. Or
you should know how your enemy works. It's ignorant to just be like, oh, I don't want to know how my enemy works.
Well, you always want to keep your friends close and your enemies closer. There's a reason why that.
So I mean, you protect yourself when you learn about your enemies, and I mean, with this book, you kind of learn what practicing witches do, and a lot of them participate in love magic. And I didn't know what that entailed. And after I learned what was interesting, I'm not going to say where, but I saw evidence of like a love magic ceremony outside of local business.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I wouldn't have known what that looked like.
But now that you you're like, wait a minute, I've done my research.
Pretty eye-opening, yeah.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah. I like that. But that's why I say, come grab these books, come check them out. Yeah. I imagine it's. Like when you do your research on that kind of stuff, how long? Like for this particular book, for this one about the witches, is that a year of research, or is that just a couple of months? Like, how long does something like that take to kind of at least put together a story, or at least a book's worth of information there?
That was probably 6 months off and on, but not like all day for 6 months. Just maybe I'd work on something else for a while. But
does it get? Do these stories get like your other West stories where it gets a little like when you hear the legends of Billy the Kid, the dime store novels have turned it into a lot of drama, and not it's more because it's great for reading, but it wasn't how it really went down. Do we see some of that in these witches? Were some of the heinous acts exaggerated, you think, to get readers to buy the story, so to speak?
Yeah, so some of them are very obviously folk tales, but the one I would like to touch upon, because people are going to think it's funny and intriguing, was from 1940.
Okay.
And it's in the newspapers, so if you're savvy with newspaper.com, you can find it for yourself. In Mora, New Mexico, a man was put on trial for turning into a frog and biting his wife.
Wow.
And I mean, this is real. It's in the court records. Not that he turned into a frog, but like he literally stood trial. They have quotes from the state police investigator in charge of the case. And it's literally, the wife is like, yes, he turned into a frog and he bit me. And, just all these crazy things. But, they really believe this happened.
Sure.
He did.
He didn't get convicted, did he?
Well, that's the other funny part of the story is the judge set $1,000 bail for him. And again, he's a poor old man. Like he doesn't have money.
Right.
Or he
there's no way
appear.
he could pay that.
But what does he do? Immediately, he whips out a bunch of hundreds from his pocket, counts them out to 1,000, and walks out.
Whoa.
And it turned out that he had this village so terrified of him that they paid him money not to hex them.
Wow.
So it was kind of like, those mob brackets where you pay for protection?
Yeah, protection money. Yeah.
They were doing that with this old man who was a brujo.
So there was a lot of people who thought he could turn into a frog, apparently.
Yeah, or they were worried he would turn them into a frog or he would curse them or whatever,
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's not necessarily true that he turned into a frog, but it's true that he stood trial. That's not a folk tale.
Right. So was he convicted? What happened? I guess he paid the bail.
I don't think I found the rest of the story.
Okay.
That's the bad thing about those old newspaper articles.
Yeah, you don't always get the final outcome, but I can't imagine. Surely he was probably crazy. I'm sure there's some mental health going on there, but I'm pretty sure he's not turning people into frogs.
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm going to bet on that one that he's not turning people into frogs.
Yeah, but like
that's pretty cool.
The most common like witch folktale is that the old woman would turn into an owl at night and she would spy on you, and then if you shoot the owl with a cross-etched bullet, you would find the witch dead the next morning in human form.
Huh.
So there's tons of stories on that variation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But ultimately, these are probably all just stories they told around a campfire.
Yeah.
That kind of grew legs a little bit,
The only one that has this, or not the only one, but one of the main ones from the really old Spanish colonial era that has historical documentation are the witch trials of Abiquiu.
Okay.
And they had a lot of wild stuff there for sure.
Now, was this around the same time as what's going on in Salem, or is this
I think it was 100 years after Salem, so in the mid 1700s, if I remember right.
Okay, interesting. So, you always wonder how much of that begats.
Yeah.
Because obviously, the world then was not like the world today as far as information getting to and fro, and so what's going on the East Coast doesn't get to the West months, maybe a year later, sometimes, depending on the level of the news. And so you always wonder. It's like there was this going on in there. Was there other communities across the nation dealing with stuff like that too? And you only hear about Salem, in the lexicon of things. But I'm sure there was other towns dealing with similar type scenarios and things like that. Maybe not to the level of the Puritans there, but in other communities and things. So, again, it was who's there to chronicle it sometimes, because everything you're researching is based off of what someone else has put to paper and done. So, and the older you dig on that stuff, the more muddy those details get and things like that, because, the way history's preserved back then versus now is way different. And I'd be very curious and I wish I could be a fly on the wall for it, like how we look at 1800s now. I'd love to see when people 100 years from now look at us here and see how they portray and look at, that to me would be kind of, and Lord knows what advances in science and technology they have at that time, where things that we think are state of the art today, they're going to be like, can you believe they had to dial their own numbers in the phone to call people, or they actually had to have a phone to call people, or whatever it is. Yeah, they actually ate their food with their mouths. Yeah. Weird, huh? But this is your latest book. And I can tell you right now, you can get it through the Historical Society. If you go to roswellnmhistory.org, you can get a copy of the book there. Is it on Amazon and all that?
Yeah, Amazon too. And I think we spent too much time talking about the book, but we have time to mention the Museum Day, right?
Yeah, Museum Day is on Saturday. And this is cool. This is long overdue. I don't know why we as a community didn't do this years ago, but Roswell is blessed with some amazing museums in town, not just the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, but, the Walker Aviation Museum, the Roswell Museum and Art Center, the Anderson Museum, the Miniatures Museum that's part of the Anderson Museum Group. We have the International UFO Museum. Of a town of this size, we're lucky to have one museum, let alone a half dozen of them.
5, 6,
So this Saturday is Museum Day, and all these museums are going to have special hours and allow people to come and visit and do things. And I know the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico will be participating on Saturday.
And I think we've got, if she can make it, Donna Blake Burchell will be there signing books. And she's got a new one called Tall Tales and Half Truths of Clay Allison.
Okay.
So she'll sign that one. I'll sign the
She's got her stuff on Wicked Women, too. So between the witches and the Wicked Women, they got you covered.
Oh, yeah. very scandalous. People love scandalous stuff.
But she also does, like, if you like ghost stories of New Mexico, the ancient, some of these, she has a lot of her books that are geared towards that. John, you know, he does a lot. I mean, yours are pretty broad too. But like, if you want more of the Billy the Kid, and that's a lot of John's cover in that. But they also get into some of the alien and space stuff with the, you know, some of your other books too. I love the aliens because I love because you're in that book. You're having eyewitness accounts of UFO sightings in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And they're describing some of the same things that people are seeing in our time. But the part that makes me so, like, where it just blows me away is they're describing things, but they don't have the vocabulary. Like things like rockets and discs weren't in the vocabulary back then. But what they're describing are rockets and discs and things that we know the names of these nowadays, but they're like, you know, using these round saucer, just different things. And you're like, wow, they, you know, the whole term of flying saucer, we kind of think, you know, it's so John's books cover that. So this Saturday, when you come by to the Historical Society and you see John and Donna there, you know, ask about that stuff or get a copy of those books too and all that. So, but I believe there's a passport deal, right, where you go and.
I don't even know.
I'm not sure either. I think there might be something like a passport deal or something with the. I'm not 100% certain, but all of those museums I mentioned earlier are participating here on Saturday. You could probably go to each individual's website to find out what special things they're doing. But we will be open and having people coming by. And like you said, we're going to have John and Donna there, hopefully to sit and talk, and you can get copies of books and stuff. And of course, our docents will be there doing tours and all that stuff for the archives, the J.P. White home, and all of that good stuff too. So, but that's this Saturday. What's the hours that we're going to be open? Do you know? I don't have.
I don't even know.
I don't know either.
I think it's kind of like probably from 10 a.m. to something. I can't.
Okay,
recall.
I have to go look. I don't have it off the top of my head here, but definitely want to check that out. And of course, if you want to see more of John's. And you can ask him, too, about the non-historical ones. Like, if you're a Godzilla fan and all that. I mean, it's historical, but not...
Yeah, it's nonfiction still.
Yeah, it's just different kind of history. It's science fiction history. So, the lore of Godzilla and all that. He's got quite... when he's not being an expert on Billy the Kid, he's an expert on Godzilla information and UFOlogy of Godzilla and all that, too.
Yeah.
So, very cool. So I imagine there's a group of people in like Japan that know John LeMay very well.
No. That's actually how I make the money. Is there's so many Japanese books, but not very many English speaking books.
Okay.
And so I fill a void in the market.
So you're the one who's kind of bringing their stuff and
I mean, I'm not the only one, but again, it's just a lot of U.S. based people are interested in those Japanese films, and
sure, well, they grew up with them.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, all of us grew up with the Godzilla movies. And
so that's how I make more of my money, as opposed to our New Mexico history, unfortunately.
But that pays the bills.
Yeah,
but but I imagine the passions in both. Like, you're equally entertained by the by looking up, Billy the Kid information as you are Godzilla information. So, one other thing I also want to put on people's radar next month is while John is here, is you'll get another chance to hang out with John and Donna Blake Birchall on October the 14th, which is actually also the same date as the solar eclipse.
Yeah.
So, you know what? That's the beauty of the solar eclipse. The Historical Society's here in town on Earth, too. So bring your glasses with you.
Yeah.
And if you sweet talk Amy, she might let you up on the archive roof to go look or something, but, or make a big donation. She'll let you up there for sure. But bring your glasses and look at it while you're here at the event. But on the 14th of October, we're going to have our Books and Blooms event, and with the fine folks at Farmhouse Roots. They're the bloom part, and John and Historical Society are the books part. And so they're going to have crafts and things with flowers and all that. John and Donna, and they're going to have a book fair where we do our when people are kind enough to make donations. And so when we have 6 and 7 copies of a rare book, we keep the good one. We always keep the good one, and then the extras we sell to collectors. And we use that money to keep the archive facility going, or pay for 4th grade tours, or do the stuff we do with it. So, but that will be October 14th, same date as the solar eclipse. So make plans to do both while you're out and about there, and then you can come. Our event will be from 10 to 2 there at the Archives facility there on Lee. You can't miss it there. So good deal, but just put that on the radar. But in the meantime, come out this Saturday to the Historical Society, and of course, don't forget to hit the International UFO Museum, the Walker Aviation Museum, the Roswell Museum and Art Center, the Anderson Museum, the Miniatures Museum, and if I forgot another one in there, I apologize. Go visit it too.
Yeah, so many cool ones. Yeah,
absolutely. I know you're a little biased.
Yeah,
but when you're not at the Historical Society, do you have a favorite one you like to go and check out?
I really like the Miniatures Museum.
It is pretty cool.
I like that.
I like it because of the uniqueness of what's in there.
Yeah.
Like the Anderson Museum's awesome, but I've been in there a few times, so now I know what to, you know what I mean? And the Anderson Museum, I'm going to argue, is the most eclectic.
Yeah.
Like, you will find art that you hate, and you will find art that you love in that place. Guaranteed. You know what I mean? Because there's such a variety. There's going to be things that resonate with you and things you're like, what the heck is that all about?
Yeah.
And that's what art's supposed to do. It's supposed to resonate those feelings.
Yeah.
So if you've never been to Anderson, that's a good one too. So good deal. Is there anything else we wanted to mention, John?
Oh, just Heritage Dinner tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
September 21st.
Is that when they go on sale?
I think that's the last day you can buy them. Or maybe
really?
I'm wrong. Maybe
because the event's in November.
My grandma told me that. Maybe my grandma's wrong. Maybe that's the first day they go on sale, or maybe
they might
it's the
be
last day.
because the event's in November.
Yeah.
So we'll let you buy tickets after.
Yeah, sure.
But it'll be a drive-through event once again. Mary Lou Glass is our honoree, and we're sticking to the vein of what we think Mary Lou Glass. She was not a person for pageantry.
No,
she was not that. That was not her. She much rather, nuts and bolts.
Yes.
Let's get her done, and anything that, even if it's flashy, she's like, that's great. How does that help what's going on here? So she wasn't known for her flash.
Yeah,
she was known for rolling up her sleeves and getting the job done. And so we're in the spirit of that. We're going to keep it relatively simple in that time as pageantry. We want to honor her because she's so deserving of it. And we're using it as an event to raise some funds for the thing that she was very passionate about, that Historical Society. So we're going to have our Heritage Dinner. Peppers is on board with a delicious food once again. We'll have the box that serves 2 meals for $100, and then we'll have our table version, which is 10 meals, 5 boxes that we can deliver, and we'll deliver. We can only do 1 box, so 2 meals delivery. But we could deliver 5 boxes to 5 different locations if you'd like us to do that. We'll be happy to do that. And of course, we'll have other things that go along with the night to remind everybody on what how much Mary Lou was a part of our community and what she did for us. So, but that'll be coming up in November here. So but coming up here, Roswell A&M History. Start getting tickets and asking about that and getting involved, or if you want to purchase a table or any of that kind of stuff, now's the time to get that done. But we got a lot going on between now and then. So this Saturday, come out and visit all of our museums for Museum Day. October 14th is our Books and Bloom event at the Historical Society Archives facility, and then again in November, it's right around mid-November, we'll be doing our Heritage Dinner here. So. Definitely want to do it. And then look for John's books on Amazon or at Historical Society's website, RoswellNMhistory.org. I almost gave you History Director Outlook, which is
Amy's email.
Amy's email, which you'll get information there, but it's not very pretty to look at. It's just an email. And then, of course, we're always doing tours. Don't forget, tours by appointment. If you and your family or your civic group or church group or whatever, call. Hey, I got a group of 10 people, want to do a tour. Can we do it on X next date? And you get a private, personalized tour. You get it'll be you and the docent, and you walk around, and the docent will explain to you all kind of stuff, and you get to ask questions. It's actually a better tour. It's kind of a more personalized tour, and we've had a lot of success. People have loved it that way. So even though we don't have like the set hours of the museum's open 9 to 4, it's by appointment. So just call us or shoot us a message through our social media or Facebook, and Amy or any of the volunteers will get back to you pretty quick. good way. And don't forget also the archives facility is available for rentals.
Yeah.
So if you got it houses about 75 people, I think, according to the fire marshal sign there. It has a full kitchen and everything. So if you need a meal to prepare or any of that, it has that. But if you got a quinceañera, smaller event, like not a big one, but one of 75 or less people, or a birthday party, or a business meeting, or a civic group needs a place to meet, please reach out to us because and all the money again for that goes back to the archives and preserving history and the fourth grade tours and all the things that we do, part of the Historical Society. So good deal. We get it all, John?
I think so.
Excellent.
I don't think we'll get in trouble.
Probably not today.
Yeah.
I'll let her know it. I'll find out at lunch today with how we did. But definitely go to Roswell and History and pick up John's latest book. Or if you missed one or two in between, you can get them there too. And don't forget on Amazon too. But only reason I point you to the Historical Society because Historical Society gets a little kickback when you buy them through there. But supporting John anyway, go through Amazon or whatever you prefer to do that. So, although in honor of Museum Day, if you do Amazon, I know Walker does it. I don't know about other museums. But Walker Aviation Museum has the Amazon Smile thing. So that's a program Amazon does. If you use their Smile and so you earmark it, and there's a portal for the Walker Aviation Museum. And so you use it and bookmark it, and then you shop your Amazon like you normally do, pay for it and everything else. But if you use that portal, a portion of whatever you bought, a percentage they give to the charity of your choosing. Yeah. So it's a little bit. It's a couple. Like you spend $100, it's a few pennies. Yeah. But you get enough people doing that. Yeah. Next thing you know, they get a check for $100 each month. Just for I always say shop local, but I know how that works. It's impossible. Sometimes you need to shop online. But when you do, support local by going through those Smile channels and helping out that way. I know, and I just don't. And I'm not sure if the other museums have it. They may. I just know Walker definitely has one of those. So look for theirs too. But anyway. Well, good deal. Well, thank you, John, as always. Appreciate the visit.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you here next time. And stay dry and cool. And don't you're not and don't intimidate everybody in the gym today.
All right.
He's like the least intimidating guy, but he'll go in there and work out, and people are like, I can't do what John's doing because John's in there every day. So, but thanks, John. We'll see you next time. It is 9:53. Let's shut our holes and play some news and Wall Street Business Update. Quick break as well before we wrap up the show. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. Xcel Energy is touting its economic impact on the region, claiming it not only provides electricity to power the area's robust economy, but also contributes a substantial amount of economic support through hundreds of millions of dollars spent on goods and services. The energy company also says it spends millions in taxes and fees paid to state and local governments. Last year, Xcel claims it bought nearly $784 million in goods and services from businesses in Texas and New Mexico, while local governments and school districts benefited from nearly $177 million in franchise fees and tax revenues. Everyone is invited to explore 7 Roswell museums for free this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's the first ever Museum Day Roswell. The purpose behind Museum Day is to encourage exploration of the city's local museums that can inspire people and enrich lives. Local museums offer an opportunity to discover new ideas and perspectives and to celebrate local culture. Organizers at the Roswell Museum aim to make the multi-museum event, as well as visiting local museums any day, not only educational, but fun and inspiring for all ages. You can find the full schedule at roswellmuseum.org. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
But now they're talking about third-party angst, and then you have this, this no labels party, and a lot of talk that people like Joe Manchin, Tulsi Gabbard, Joe Lieberman is actively involved in this. Remember what they did to poor Joe Lieberman? They challenged him in a primary in Connecticut. Then he ran third party, and he won in Connecticut. David Axelrod pointed out Biden must decide whether he can complete the job, first of all, and then prevent a Trump presidency or step aside. Now, that's on top of his critical remarks last week. Let me tell you, David Axelrod is a direct shot to everything Obama world. And by the way, Van Jones, same thing.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Listen, the economy is not going back to how it was before. Remember how quickly it all went bad? First, it was inflation, then another housing market bubble. Banks started crashing, and now the Fed is laying the groundwork for a digital currency. Do you see it yet? Your money is being attacked from almost every angle. So at this point, you could bury your head in the sand and pretend everything will get better, or take advantage of this opportunity to protect your wealth while you still can. So write this down, because you'll not only get the chance to protect your retirement savings now, you could get up to $10,000 in free silver from Sean Hannity's partner Goldco. You heard right. $10,000 in free silver from Goldco when you call 855-815-GOLD. So don't miss what could be your best opportunity to protect your retirement savings today. Call 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a stationary front overhead and low pressure bringing in some humid air, so showers and thunderstorms are a pretty good possibility today. Cool temperatures, too, will be in the low to mid 70s for the afternoon high. Pretty good chance of showers overnight, and our low dropping into the low 60s, and then we get more wet weather on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms, skies will be cloudy, and our high right around 80. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Wall Street opened lower this morning ahead of a highly anticipated update on consumer prices later this week. On the corporate front, Oracle shares tumbled more than 10% after the software company's sales forecast disappointed investors. Elsewhere, Google's antitrust trial opens today in federal court, and Apple is hosting an event showcasing its latest iPhone. Stellantis reporting progress in talks with the United Auto Workers Union, just 3 days left before contracts expire with Detroit's big three automakers. Health and safety issues said to have been addressed with Stellantis, economic issues still unresolved. Lawmakers in California have approved legislation requiring major companies to disclose a sweeping range of greenhouse gas emissions, said to be the toughest law of its kind in the country. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
The Rehabilitation Center at Artesia General Hospital offers a variety of services led by experienced licensed therapists, including physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. Their multidisciplinary team provides a complete evaluation with the full support of your primary care provider to develop a custom plan to support your personal goals and recovery needs. These treatment plans help manage symptoms, educate patients and their families, and ultimately get back to the activities that bring you joy. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab.
Bob Reed Pest Control protects you and your home by controlling pests that invade. Bob Reed Pest Control understands the importance of safety in and around your home from unwanted pests. Protect your family's most important investment, your home, and protect your children and pets from the dangers of poisonous bugs and insects. Call Bob Reed Pest Control today and let our fully licensed pest control professionals start working for you and your family. Find us fast in names and numbers. Call 623-5344, serving all of Southeast New Mexico.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
And that's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Stay dry out there. I don't get to say that very often. Stay dry. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com.